ethical values, how the child grows up, knowing what is state resources, knowing how to be patriotic and responsible, and knowing how to be civic responsible will be an integral part of our revised curriculum. And therefore, at the basic education level, we have done some spending, improving capitation grants, and ensuring that it's released timely. We have made some payments to beneficiaries of over 5,681,000. Details of payment will be provided as indicated in my slide. We paid an amount of 64 million and then another 60 million to support the capitation grant. Comprehensive inclusive education policy was launched on 7 July 2026 to provide completely free education for learners with special needs and disability in special schools. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to spend some time on this. When the Get Fund Amendment Act was presented before Parliament, it was to amend the Get Fund Act, one, to dedicate the financing of free senior high school, its feeding, to Get Fund. The second was also to dedicate fees for persons with disability to Get Fund. In that amendment was an amendment for Get Fund to annually provide for the provision of free education for persons with special needs, to keep in tandem with our pledge as a government to promote inclusive, equitable education. Accordingly, Get Fund has allocated an amount of 100 million Ghana cedis to support the implementation of the free education for persons with special needs. For the first time in many years, assistive devices will be procured to support learners with difficulties across the country. Whilst we would also prepare to do some rehabilitation work of the school for the blind in Obrempong, school for the deaf in Savlugu, and then the other, sorry, I withdraw the word dead, sorry. Then the other one in the Upper West region. We have also, as a government, increased the feeding grants for students with special needs from 8 cities to 15 cities. And we have walked the talk on this matter. And we are developing mathematics curriculum for learners with visual impairment and develop a standardized Ghanaian Sign Language curriculum for hearing impaired learners in the country. Let me also say that when Her Excellency Vice President Jenano Pokwajiman first introduced this matter of sanitary pads, there were many who didn't appreciate it. Today, I'm happy to report that evidence-wise, we do have practical evidence of young female girls who dropped out of school because of their inability, or call it their hygiene poverty, or poverty related to the acquisition of the sanitary pads. We have distributed sanitary pads, 12.2 million sanitary pads across the country, benefiting 2.5 million female students across the country. I will provide the regional breakdown as and when the media needs more answers to it. And as I speak to it, we are in the process of acquiring for this year the same quantity or even more for the sanitary pads for distribution to our young girls, in order that we will sustain and ensure their retention in school. Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm also happy to note that the teacher remains pivotal to the school environment and even to the organization of the school management. Therefore, our government places priority on the motivation and well-being of teachers. Apart from the 20% allowance for persons who accept posting into rural areas, we are almost through, led by the District Assembly Common Fund, with our Teacher Dabre initiative, which is a bold government program of President John Dramani Mahama to provide accommodation facilities for teachers across the country. We intend to construct 50,000 housing units for teachers all across the country. It's led by the District Assembly Common Fund in order that we want to decentralize it at the regional and district level. The Ministry of Education will provide collateral support using our pension fund of GSOP to make sure that this also becomes a reality. The Honorable Member of Parliament for the area, the Honorable Baba Jamal, has written formally to me dedicating land for that purpose. Then your second question of Kaswa, I hope you know the population of Kaswa. So if you know the population of Kaswa, I've answered you. Whether one senior high school will be enough for them. It's a growing population, and we need to expand their access to secondary education. We probably may locate it not as close to the original which is existing, but to any other populated area. And then the other easy question was conditions of service. Is now being reviewed by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. That is the threat from our colleague from GBC about pre-tertiary education unions. There were unions were in my office last week to issue the same threat to me. You know, former Minister for Labor, I'm used to such threat. I can live with it, but we'll address them. They are largely matters better dealt with by the Minister for Finance and not a Minister for Education. My mandate is not to review salaries and conditions of service, save when a decision is taken, then I help to enforce it. The 20% is data. You just don't pay 20% because a person has said that he's a rural teacher. We need through the GES to verify whether the person accepted posting to that area as in working in that area, and then we can get it done. Schools cleaning, I've taken note of it. That's part of the revised curriculum. In fact, growing up, I attended a Presby Primary School, popularly referred to as a Kulukul School in Tamale. One of my teachers is here, if he recalls, former MP was a teacher in that area. Every day we clean up, and then I share my personal story. So me, I was in section blue, and there was a neem tray which made sure that we filled after every cleaning, because when you finish cleaning, then leaves will fall like a friend who cannot stand the pressure of the dry season. So that is it. Schools and colleges sports to be revived. We are in discussion with the Minister for Youth and Sports for the revival of schools, colleges, and university sports in order that we can identify our young talents and do well. My mandate doesn't include sports. Those of you who are supporting Spain because you don't like Messi, we know you, and the Real Madrid supporters. But Ghana, you won one match by luck and won another match by coaching, and then you lost with the faith and strength of your team. We'll do better to improve the Black Stars, and we should. And then, which other question? I'm sure I've attempted to respond to the first batch of questions. And then, yes, I have a full paper on issues of indiscipline in schools across the country. And I like the choice of word of the journalist, lazy approach. When you don't identify and define a problem, dealing with it as a solution becomes problematic. We need to hear what is it that have occasioned the indiscipline. And believe me, the head teachers, headmasters, and teachers, they know more. I will share this with you. This is a real story. I decided to take a walk in Tamale from my house to Vitim. And then I walked across the wall of Vitim Technical. Just a wall. So this is a real story. So I should have just caught the student, the indiscipline. Then whilst walking, he wouldn't have known that there's a Minister for Education or MP walking behind the wall. 3 of them just scaled up and fell in front of me. That's the state of indiscipline. So they have a corner around the wall. And to hear that a Ghanaian student is holding a weapon in school, that is not Ghanaian. And that cannot be encouraged or tolerated. So to answer you, the Director General of GS is here. I've given him all the sweeping powers to deal ruthlessly and decisively with any act of indiscipline. We have moved beyond carrot to the stick. And I've asked him to move away from responsible discipline to progressive discipline. We have. But we still need to meet to understand. Another practical example is Obrempong College. All students decided to have a CCTV camera. The students one day just decided to bring it down. How can that be acceptable? And the danger now, only last week, I saw a number of young people being dismissed from school for doing sasha or sisha, those who smoke. So I don't want to know their name, let alone encourage its use. It's called what? Basic school. Then they are allowed. How did it enter the school? So, Nasi, are you here? You must strengthen the safety environment of our schools. We have several instances. Exam-related violence resulting in vandalism of headmaster's private saloon car, which happened in Jirapa. We are investigating the assault and fighting among students, including incidents involving external persons. In the Tema Methodist Day Senior High School, a student brought a knife to school and used it to inflict an injury on another student. The aggressor has since been suspended. In Akachi Senior High School, stabbing at Kimbo Senior High School, the culprit has been sentenced and jailed for 6 months. So it's not as if we are not acting. Inappropriate usage of computer tablets by a student while senior high school, drug abuse by some students. So you had our collaborative meeting with the Narcotics Control Board, and we've lined something with them. Don't start it, and I think that very soon we'll get some material and literature. Then there's Odogono Secondary, vandalism and destruction of school property. Then there's also the case of teacher abuse of a student in Bole Secondary School, abuse and bullying in Vitin Senior High School, improper use of tablets. Then some learners even stole school electric bulbs without. So what kind of? I said, what kind of educational system are we modeling? Does that respond to a modern competitive economy where character is as important as literacy and numeracy? That is why we are reviewing our curriculum. We've had instances of smoking of weed in some school, St. Thomas Aquinas School, and then some students brought in a gang of 8 to retrieve a mobile phone. So strictly, Director General GES, there is debate across the country as to the use of the mobile phone. We'll be happy to get your advice, but for the time being, strictly enforce it. Students engage in intimate kissing on school, Accra High School, not acceptable. And Director General, we expect you to exercise the gavel. Then truancy and scaling of wall, like my experience at Congo Senior High School, we need to deal with it. Physical assault of a teacher, drug abuse and weed, mob attack and fighting, Islamic Senior High School war, and then Laura, students truancy and absenteeism for schools. If he doesn't come, the student must go home. So we'll have a national conference on indiscipline. I do not intend to agree with you that it's a lazy conference. With all politeness, we need to hear, and then we can give the directives both to regional and district directors as to what kind of behavior we expect. So, Minister, will take another batch of questions if that pleases you. Thank you.
I was young, more Quabaca said about TVXYZ and a power 97.9 FM inside politics. Jumedia Senior. This is a fresh week, fresh stories, fresh BBR. And then so Yatsanas and then some who do a Echegu or Minum, the dinner Safata Sebe, Bia Wawa Sabri. Also, watch a breath now near Jumedia Abumuno. You bet me a fast aqua so near the Ghana, some who do a Echegu in a Timia Breu, Wakamu Fie, and answer what Jumem. Na ye nyina yakɔso atoa yadwene sɛ betimi aboa no ɔman no akɔso afa ne ntema pa bi ɛde ɛfrɛ nti fi sabre enkɔpem sɛ 6 p.m. bɛbɔ bɔmɔde na hyɛ ne so sɛ wo kan yɛn ho live on TVXYZ and Power 97.9 FM na yɛde inside politics dwumade ɛtimi asom wɔ bra yɛ kyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm ahodoɔ a ɛkɔso ɔman Ghana mu announce watimi anya ho ɛnti aseɛ ukɔ Facebook a yɛn platforms no wɔ hɔ at Power 979 FM, TVXYZ, Facebook, name Obomodi Kopium, YouTube, XYZ Broadcast, and there was Wajibre, Ashe, Inside Politics, Jumedi, near Beba, Trimu Bia, or Brequa Jumedi, Cosono, but more than a fato, I see a Bejimre, not Yakin Cancer, Semina, Eddie Asomo, Yankopon, when Shrawa Mempred, Aqua Sierra, Mr. Ralph Jampo, Ewo, Sansona, Mr. Peter Cranton, Abbas, Mr. Emmanuel Kisi, and Mr. Emmanuel Neti, one more. Ana abribi almost show TV ni suma na so atimi agebra hwe dwumade bi Lizzy ana e makeup ewo eye fidua mu ha na ye de aba besom wo Francis Elvis ana William Sefa ana wo studio as abri omugina cameras na chi danda camera no twa dwumade we na wo de so Mr. Calvin Asante wono no mi producer wa hye dwumade nyina se me so memra me medi ho chia me na me fesom me amagebra edi dwumade ho chia me de ama wo midi NK Obrempong, the grassroots president, Okwapemai Kania to Apem de Sem, Trans pe, na wakaya senenson. Say ye pepe yo, a ye a quampe biara or my Ghana betting yakoso, a fan and tema pebidi fra sebeye, not what muni, wo Ghana in some faso, dear bebasono, one sa etimi account dear, Yankopon, when Shrawa and Yadia mepreda, and then some no, a dosun, wahaye pa, nemum, the di nesene fata. Ani abomode ekuchiri ni nyina gu nkrata so ababetena ha yebawe papa mu akire across the 60 regions of Ghana ofa bia affiliate stations woma bia tum radio so TV so information centers ahodo wo bia 8 inside politics area. This is the most impactful political socio-economic talk show ebo area kopem anwumre dia wantie ha wayra abribia hyene so freunia onkanche obi no onkanche obi se NK Obrempong Aba betina se we inside politics jumadi so ye ba be ensem no nyina na ye de asom ye hye ye nkomode na se na anase ye tietie mu kakra no a wodi wani kire mu Pristia Huni Valley eno ewo fa takwa ene ne mpatem ho a timamufu a wo ho asori agina ho Western region ho wo ma asori agina ho se dabi ekwan a empanifuo bi ewo takwa ede mining concessions ahodo community mining crackeke no womo tam edi ama China fo aye no etiamra enisesa ana wo se ye na efi se foreign akra de anase obi ofi ni kuro so aba oman mu de enise onya kwan eye community mining ni bi ene wo ma sori agina ho akasa ye bekom ni akwakwaje side nsem ni nyina ate na ye de aba besom after the flag bearer of the new patriotic party Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia wakasa na say ya na mrasebedwam mrasebedwa for the omonsa share the tribunal bill 2026 ase somebody come His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama amode ne nsa hyase na abeye mmra wo krom ha na afi yetimi abiebie court no ahodo a yebetimi de adi nsem no papa hyew ne abua o e wose okojela akodam e wose otue sika na atua na bibia ntimi toto na akwam no Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia aba obebekasa na ose omampani John Dramani Mahama won hwe no wamfa ne nsa hye saa bill na ase de ntina Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia kasa yakoba yede nkyiremu esene fata Erebebro, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, in the person of Bernard Enchibu Esiako Dodona friend chairman Untumi, and then quarter Timiaman 20 years. So on Concorde Fiase, and Fenye Jumadene. Dia in a quarter regional so not what they saw 20 years see, Ediama chairman Untumi. You bet see Untumi lawyer, or bra court dinner, and near ma Akoswa Galamse Unsama Akoswa. The Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana at the court to say when you are dear Wuntumi no Gina Somana 20 years no ne lawyer Akasa Wabrasa 20 years no kwa yeden waka ahanum ana yede yes I say mina besomo. It's actually the former president Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo obeka ye a wamra na Ghana for sorry ye no mo ka say Chairman Wuntumi ye Galamsey was Samra boy Chairman Wuntumi say yem forest ni bi was say yensuo Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ebe kasai ebe defende na asem no ene ebe sen abo akere wa ha Chairman Wuntumi ni TV so ni radio so okwa godua na samra boye ene ya gina so ma 20 years no nya no oba na ode kire menko ba bia sensemi ene de ka ho ye dane ho ba ye de ba be so mo twen Mesamo Akwaba Bio about TVSY set, and you also live on Power 97.9 FM inside politics. Jumedi Suni Fi Sabri and Kopim 6 p.m. Bebo Bomodena Kai Honi ni Jumedi boom and some who do tregu or mine Ghana Mua near the Bao Fie where Jumemo Kemu Baby Biara Sabri was sharing live on TVSY set and answer Wutie or Power 97.9 FM. Bomodi see a bit me Jumedi album Uko Facebook yen platforms no at Power 979 FM TVXYZ to benya no wetimi ahwe Jumedi bi edo adwenkyere de ato ase sanso na okopiem YouTuber XYZ broadcaster na for inside politics Jumedi etwegu wo ho no waje bra hwe bi wo ho nso na do adwenkyere ato ase wo mere pem no ye bekenkan na obi ahu sampa wo kan obi no man Ghana nso guso a ofa ne ntama pa bi edifra midi di enke Obrempong midi Jumedi ehu chiame atena konwa kasemu edi ama Mugabe master the capacity man Commander of the 900 million angels. Commander baby awo na wi anyumre we. Me se Nyankopon wan hyira wo a mempreda. Busa ya toa yensem no so na afi ene enkomo ahodo anansem ahodo e ho no ye nyina abomoden ahwe bi atie bi na ye de adwenkyere aboa. Ya semedika ye ko takwa na ye ko aboso eho na maburu bi e ho asore se dabi kwanya empedefo bi faso na womode MPP ya friend say MPP mpanifo ni bi constituency mpanifo ni bi ade ya nsase awodo emma China fo say womo enye community mining woso no etiamra efise ni se foreign ampo etimi ba kromo a na yen community mining large scale mining foreigners na age ye na say ya na ensesaya abemu a yes womo yensesaya Dr. Ibrahim Mahama ene Ghana penifo bi omanya mining concession eti aden and womo de concessions no egusu emma foreigners yankwa homa no so ni ene chairman Sofo Osman Dauda ono aboso NDC chairman Pristia Hunibali constituency leader aboso gangway cooperative mining for yankotie ne semwa wade ba betudwa ade afa womo nsem ya womo kan ho chama wote be nka me mo akwa ba reba TVXYZ and Power 97.9 FM inside politics Jumedi so
oni am da se na me chewo no tefo nyina
ye nyina ya je so ena ya hunu video sakodo a aboso mabunu ahodo bebre atie gu abonten ade na asi aboso mabunu wo ho atie omo gu abonten de na ekoso
that's it in fact NDC mpenfu bi pa eye menti nyama bi ase o eye yenti nyama bi ase fi se woni ba free ya to abawie ye nya asomdwe wo ba abos fi se woni ba especially abosu bompia so ye were old shaft old abosu go fish shaft edawa current MP one reason good no GC at communist time no mu ko hu local affairs manager omo go fish no omo chi sa shaft abandoned shaft na dem abosu kroni bompia so kro no omo aye duma 2016 ye go to abana NDC free so na MPP by 2017 almost by year Jumana Ecopi 2024. Ye go to Aba, Yamichade, ye do really power view. Share former MENA committee chairperson, Honorable Barbara Otinjesi. Or Savvy minister, who to share to say Unibali. So Bota, ye Trinumukra. Oh, but over the year, and yet, a Jumaya boss no bompiasi. Hey, all shaft, all the mark concession and ye two about ye. That was 2024. The week ran in Yakata, Adaya, MPP chairman or he said only by Abiam. And in the Gurusuno, only the NDC court, Takwa High Court. Adaya, also only the concession. Next, now, then I concession, call your manager party. Almost the amount minor. One person bosso. No, because out. You would your concession. You won't say what by prospecting before had that. Ain't sure man be that. Ain't sure. Now, I also concern. Okay, fine. You will quote a customer. Your one at say, Attorney General, I was secondary. And it didn't Kingsley, Nana Ajokum, State Attorney for Principal State Attorney, Western Region. Or the car said, I say, you mention more. Takwa Police Station. Also, yeah, he said, only Valley. No, on the question, also, Takwa Sayim. Fine. Yes, no problem about and by a Friday, you're quiet. You're quiet, you're going fine for now, day in our honor. But you're somewhere. He said, only Valley. Yeah, MP and him MC on him. Into now, you would have called. Now, pass almost 30. Mina commission Nipana wanted in Kaka say, and pa. Now, your work, company, dear Fanny, it do Danford. Now, you're to about 2024, Omaka can we. Tiahani power was on the cartel, Omaka can we. That was 2024, no. Into 2024, you're on the 17th, no. MPP Lucino. 13 December 2024. No more transfer, and you don't find out, Mopa no. Edema, global all. I China, the company. 2020, we are trouble on the 7th December. And if I was in the people who. Obiasu names of people. What transfer the amount? Your friends, global all. Only the amount of 17 years. No, it's just a man, your chance here and ye.
Okay, Chairman, says, yeah, I didn't know mope, sir, and penny for by the amamo.
You are two things that the amount pay for more a crown and a gun a hiding and stay. Yes, chance and then chance now. The same on me, you will have name former president. Akufaru, ever by yen community mining. Over the community mining, no. It's the end is now Yabano. Yabba take a coordinate now to call, yes, you have cooperative mining. Shut that on ya, or manager padio. Put me from both big concession. Now, so this year, or when you know you crop. I would come a concession, I'll be young. Into Abamina Benobeno, community miner, no. It's the NDC, I didn't hear it. It's the cooperative miner, I didn't say, no, mentality. You are a gas factory. Gas factory, over picture gas factory, I am condemned. Up to now, you would have called. I'm a crump over the cane, he said. You're very intimate in the Papa Quantum. Now, concession, I don't know. Old shaft, I'm going to go a month for Boca. I am maintenance for so many years. If you have a community man, it's a quite. It's Yaba. Yet you find here cooperative mining. Only in theatre.
It's about Californian cooperative mining, and fair mammo.
Very good. And one no.
Chairman, ya better say ya mre nti no ma ya mfa nkoma we ensia ya bese aba na so wobere bia ye hia nkyire mu bi ne ato aso mesrew. Better say enter Chairman so for Osman Dauda ya boss NDC Chairman Priscilla Univali constituency. Ono a leader de ma aboss gang way cooperative mining and watchere say aban no mra wo ma aban na aba enti wo mra na senior wo so hye niema o fa niema ntoto so pit ahodo no wo ye no cooperative mining de mo a bo mu mabiri no so betimi anya dwuma bi aye na o manya sika de go mbotom na MPP fo bi a wo mo aban ni wo kra no wo mo de NDC fo no bi court e wo this yes concession na amna bi ho eno ana wo no sofo Osman Dauda wo ye abosu NDC chairman Priscilla Univali ho no won tiase de ntia o maban aba na still kra no MPP fo wo position no person o mo wuro o kawa e dey form abeti obusia to en common so the flag bearer of the new patriotic party Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia wakasa area fa tribunal bila masebejam for na say ya wo mo sa hyase say o mampani John Dramani Mahama on fan and sign sign signature na fei yentimi ntititi tribunal court ahodo mfani di 7 pia na sharp special court na nsema ahodo atwagu o man we mu no niema akoso bebere no wo mu ntimi nidi ni ntem wei ana Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia beka se dabi o mampani John Dramani Mahama on hwe ana wan fan nsa anhye sa tribunal bill na se na nkre enokran sankasa obesan no e wo so ye broad stakeholder consultation oni nipa hodo bebere kasa to ne nsafre amanyoko ahodo no nyina na enkoye se ye ginam na hye bedwomfo so pe ne ye de ahye sa mrai ne ye wi aya kwakopa ase na eno ano no ye hwe Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ne nsema wode atoja afa tribunal bi humra ebe beto aso.
Hello fellow citizens, I speak to you on a matter that has the potential to reshape our justice delivery system, confidence in our judiciary, and the future of our democracy altogether. The attempt to reintroduce tribunals into Ghana's judicial system. Last week, Parliament passed the Tribunals Bill 2026. The mandatory one-day interval between the consideration stage and the third reading was waived so that the bill could be passed on the same day. The minority's objections were voted down. Organized labor objected loudly and publicly, but was ignored. The bill will soon be transmitted to the President for his assent. I have one respectful request of President Mahama. Mr. President, do not assent to this bill. Pause and let the nation ponder and deliberate on this very important matter. This is not a partisan request. The Trades Union Congress, the voice of millions of Ghanaian workers, has called for the bill to be withdrawn altogether, warning that in its current form, it could become a potent tool for weaponizing justice delivery. Those are the words of Ghanaian workers, not of any political party. Consider also the government's own process. The President established the Constitution Review Committee, and it reported last December. This committee recommended removing regional tribunals from the Constitution because the High Court has long carried their caseload. Yet, the report of the committee has not been published. Before the nation has even read it, Parliament has rushed through and legislated in the opposite direction. Mr. President, publish the report first. Above all, Mr. President, reflect on the historical antecedents of the public tribunal system. Under this bill, panels that include persons who are not lawyers may sit in judgment over criminal matters. Ghanaians remember tribunals, and we remember what was done in their name. Our courts are congested, yes. But the answer to congested courts is to strengthen the courts, more judges, more courtrooms, and digitized processes. It is not to build a second system of justice. Mr. President, your government commands one of the largest majorities in the history of the Fourth Republic. With such numbers, Parliament can pass almost any bill it wishes. Not everything that can be passed should be passed. The larger the majority, the greater the duty of restraint. History will not ask how many votes a law received. It will ask whether the law is just, equitable, and seeks to promote and protect the interests of Ghanaians. My call is therefore simple and constructive. Withhold your assent. Convene genuine national engagement. Invite the Ghana Bar Association and other lawyers groups, organized labor, civil society, and the political parties, including my own. We will come in good faith and consult the judiciary itself, the institution that must live with whatever Parliament creates. Justice belongs to no government and no party. It belongs to the Ghanaian people. And a law that reshapes the architecture of justice should rest on national consensus, not on head count. Mr. President, the pen is in your hand. Use it not to assent to this bill, but write an invitation to the nation through the Council of State in accordance with Articles 90 and 106 of the 1992 Constitution. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you.
Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia wano ana Frank Tuni adema MPP amanyo kono tribunal bill amra sebejem for the omon sasase sen komampani John Dramani Mama wano one fon sign na meye mra no anu aba betu hofo se da bi na mema omampani John Dramani Mama mfa ne nsa nhase if say bill bi say no o se obomode no ni amanyo ko ahodo nka omutimi hia obomode no ni nipa hodo bi e wo se obiade na dwenkyere timi ba ansa na bill bi say no wo mu atimi apase. Your Excellency sir, sa asem we na ni senke free wanum na eba as a former vice president a wabedi oman yi so mfie nwotwe na under you na e-levy one the court na NDC for the e-levy court and the Supreme Court under you mo pass e-levy stakeholder consultation by Anna Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia me any Ghana for ye bi say mo ye de for e-levy ho stakeholder consultation by money for the share de for e-levy ho mo wie kra mo twa ho cake mo ye ho cake e wo Kumase say mo de sika eba mo ba betete Ghana for sika e wo mu phone so ne mo bank account. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia under you as the head of the economic management team and the chairman for Ghana Police Council. Consultation by na mo ye de for e-levy ho san sami eni senke fi wonu mu ba omampani abedi e kire dada Frank Atuni de ma MPP under you na mukode e-levy cake ewo Kumase wabra na mode asodie kase mode pressure eba Ghana for so say wo musika bia o mo be sene no mo betete hu sika de adi stakeholder consultation ba na mo ye I am asking Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia in any way wonya kromfo ye pai erio adana udwane. You are not a thief. Yes, shout to say erio Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, why are you running? Tribunal court na ye babete no adana wo problem e wo ho adan minim. Why adana wo yam sese wo what for money bibi mi bisawo woni ma MPP ni bia wa for man ni bia na me anka Obrempong metie me yam nhyehyeme wo mo pa court no wo mo fa bi mesi me dan ano me huna no me Kwabena Obrempong enya dia me yam nhyehyeme dabi. But under you anima wodo amoye no okrom ha mo stakeholder aye consultation be na mo ye mo ne wan asia ka ho asem under you on in February 2024 Embrasebedamfo ebo modern passe the anti-LGBTQ plus bill Ecuador court for 11 good months from February to December 17 for year to abawie and then abeka fa ho why in support say bill no na the Supreme Court wana under you mototu fu omukwadu 23 Ghana cedis in 2022 per liter Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia stakeholder consultation ba na mo ye mo sedem ana mo de Russia and Ukraine ana Russia ana Ukraine ana mo de ajiga na fosika nyina di ye upon all the taxes betting tax emission tax e-levy then ye just say taxes are na hu hia wo krom under you moya stakeholder consultation what how ne say our tribunal bill no I am just asking o man Ghana bibia bebedi ho a won fan koye wonu MPP for mpanifo MPP amanyokuro a mobedi wo man Ghana so 8 years no tribunal bill na ya pass e wo mra sebedwoma wo so man pani John Dramani mama won fa ne nsan hyase no mo wo bibia mafa amon form o man no me se wonnya kromfo ye pai awi ada na udwane ye nyina ne nam kwan ho awi what sase adwane ada wo ye kromfo na I am asking it's a question tribunal bill no what is your problem amemu amubebu ye Ghana aban we obada timi age advice e dey free wo Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia as an economist, astute economist, a PhD holder, doctor. I would the economist now the bedi idea. An economist so and the MPP for you to me say who Alhaji Bawumia brana betina so na se Ghana economy under you over $5 free 4 cedi kodu 17 Ghana cedis. Petrol 6-7 cedis. Over for petrol 6-7 cedis per liter. What you could do 23 Ghana cedis in 2022. A liter of diesel was 23 Ghana cedis. Under you, what catch a Ghana for you say why a Pualugu Dam? Why a Pualugu Dam? After Auditor General report about it, you say, woman declare $11.9 million. Someone Franco set Pualugu Damase, doctor, Bapim ne block back now. Under you. A dear in Ghana for uni and take your advice in free war. Yasim, we are on my way. And before we are Ghana. Mabo minor po. More for minor Japadie. More say chrono, more the galam say, I say chrono. Under the MPP and a professor from Kwabena Boateng, ne galam say report on the betu gawo kromwa, yenya okroma yehuye. Under the MPP excavators 500. I want to see galam say site I would want to nina say yiraye. Under the MPP 2024, Takrade Sama, a punsio, a cocobo, a galamso and socobo pum. Galamsensio. For the first time in the history of this country. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, Ghana for bisa say, a day na ultimi here de fa ho. Apart from empty promises, in 2020 MPP manifesto launch, will Cape Coast, Ukokache Cape Coast for say, Musi Harbor, Musi Airport, Adia Moma, Bapim ne, I will lose support all. I will tif ye, one team block back of Ranko. Why na see about me adia foot to the free war? Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia wo mine ni abre o Ghana ni abre Alhaji yabasre Ghana for pewa anka in the Fourth Republic MPP and NDC amanyoko ahudua ejina ticket so mayeto abade ma omo no in the Fourth Republic 2024 ana MPP wi propotompo wo brekoa na Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia eye flag bearer wono anu krom northern region the 5 northern regions apart from northeast olusu de aka nyina after being the vice president of the Republic of Ghana, after heading our economy, what tells you? Say Ghana for any soil near one another Kufuado, the former president of the Republic, you know, anka san kugo kasiano, anka nyadi abebamoso. So by now, I was saying wuru the entire Ghana for pamuwo. Sir President. More sent to the tribunal bill. Alhaji, what for Ghana baby na then na usuro. Ayade nebo hu. Say yabi, ana the former president, Nana Dankwa Kufuado. Meba, what to me case, meba. Adiane koso na nya as a leaders of this country. Na yebeka chiremwa because of your own parochial interest. You decide to defend things, Emwa woman koso. And then dream katasi say proyekan kai a ekoso under you and your president. Nana Dankwa administration. Abangwe fa kwa bia so say de wo fa woman taku sempoa tro fade ye be fa kwa bia so agefri ni ho. Now you are afraid. Say I was saying come free stakeholders, one free political parties. Now woman nyina besia. Maybe say wo me say e-levy. Why na mo free omo? Obra na Ghana fosu. No mo so mo mpene. E-levy ni ya twitwa mene. Munyai Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ukotwa ho cake di. O finance minister wadwane a wato nwuram. Afa poso akodu America. Obeka che Ghana fo nyina say yagetum na ye passe e-levy a ebe create 11 million jobs. What is that one job that e-levy created? I just saw my penny and of course said the constitution no ohwe bill num na odema committee no muso muhwem no man penny enya nyina so bill no obesan na wasan awie man penny John Dramani Mahama obesan na wasan awie because that is the only time some of us we will believe say ampa the research agenda no the abano ampa na ni abre so be corruption na on my way etimi enya sumdie kakra politicians ayade asemwa ni ade on my way samon sa na ajapade wo kroma nyina mo pese mo nkoa mo ne mo nafofo kuma bi ene mabusiafo mo fa o man ajapade nyina ati the tribunal bill amna sebegam ade oma pass no omampani John Dramani Mahama de nsabe sase se wo hwem no wo nyina so bi se dabi wei yansesa no yebekọ akosesa na ba but nobody is taking your advice, Your Excellency. Nobody in Ghana here wa amemwo kankan amemwo bone amemwo funtantan together with Nana Dankwa Kufuado any Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia awon chira memwo ehunahuna anka metia akasa sei anka metia din komo sei krofo din komo wo mu TV so na MPP fo agbawura ho ajaje 40 cases so na MPP fo agbawura ho because I'm a president and net so I'm a vice Alhaji Bawumia net so enai yanya omampania wo dadwene womampania wo dwene ne man ho ahunu sai wo be ma accountability aye adwuma omampania wo yan seseye se emramra krom ho a ebe deter other people from corruption ebe hwasode eti wo fam na wo ko ni ade jew na wo ko prison tempa so a wo aban mu no ana wo so ka aban ho no obey careful and then they would to me and yamana so no ejalaji the tribunal bill yabas a president be sign onya nyina so no so se won sign a wo se nyina yahu the entire one sign because that is the only time some of us will believe his research agenda because MPP for area o my Ghana eyame na meka ko attorney general ho ko yoko ho ko NIB ho ko police ho MPP mpanifo a wo di ade awie sika hodo afọ mo nsase sika wo mawia a wo mo ko court ko abenadubu ahene gift award mensa a deputy director edema a national service authority ko abenadubu ahene national signals bureau pani assessment director executive director edema national service authority Abdul Wahab Hanan national food buffer stock company Professor Meya Kunfi Sky Train and somebody Dawson Kwaji my money Spook TV almost every sector and that Nana Dankwa Kufuado Omu Feska Oma ye say tam me catch them the biasa say MPP tina omaimu 200 years without power they will never go hungry and you thought I was joking. When we say Masa Sebe Pieba, said tribunal never settle down here. And now Bewunu, a year Kakalika, MPP before, Adi Kuntua Kuntus and Niti, and that tribunal beauty Baumia Timina. Baumia Katana near ye. Akiebe set it, na attend Rene Abba, Yakwako dia Sam, where 1 year Scafabra, where Yako jail, where Yajo Japadia, Paso, Yeridia Samno. High Court I choked, Circuit Court I choked. Yam yendi obia sam said ya tiene senefata ba me asem ma president mama sign wase ya wie anya sa ye wa ha ye be boja guso e wase o man ne ho te e fa krono proye kankan ho a ye de tumi ma politicians a wo mo de ye bedi no abosha George Media no so yakore the Ashanti regional chairman of the MPP in the person of Bernard Antribu Asiako. The donor friend chairman to me another year the Accra High Court Abomodeng a sentence to 20 years imprisonment with hard labor. The day they say one them na kwamboneswa wa fire adi to a good year our Samra boy kwamboneswa oma ebimu kwan even without prior approval from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Now, one to see Samra boy, not one go to Galamsey, irresponsible mining, illegal mining, no, Sabre, and Miranda 6 count. I want the born, no, Nina Abu chairman, a year wound to me. Young charges Snibi, a court, no, Able board chairman wound to your Sabre, Nina Abu born, say Kim, Emma Sabre, what in a near chim, no aqua trim. So charges against who to me for others. A contaminating company limited. First accused, count 1 or say undertaking mining operations without a license. Etiomu ko wura ho ekoye mining to 2 gold basa. Wabrekwa ndo mu kutankrata bia. Na mom ho kwan se wo mu betimi akwa di sajumedie no. Ewo ho no. Ya count 4 no. I say, felling trees in a forest reserve without authority. Eti forest reserve ni eja no wasamra boy no. Chema won to me do one no see da bi. Wano na aba na wo so. Another kwaku for na to so. Eti wono de wo bebu nua ni nyina gu. Na gold the shasa sinum watu. Na aba na wo so. Eno so enya mra kwan so. Wanya authority bia oni permission bia wasanka wodi this adwumadie no. Ano ye yanko ne yanko hwe count 6. I say, erecting buildings in a forest reserve without authorization. Eti womo kwa ye galamse no, womo sisi da ho baby na omo de da. Ana ho na omo je omo home ya. No mo for machine na sinsuo no mu echurururu, no mo bunua nigu, no mo science ase no. Eno so emrakwa bia ne ho na ema no kwan ho saa so otimi di dwumadie no yanto so ne yenhwe the other count ne nyina aka ho bi enai Bernard Entwibu Asiako the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP dodo no friend chairman would to me no court atimi agina so na one man 20 years say one ko na fe one fan ko dem no fanya dwumaden na one fanya suade ensa me ya hwesode efema other people womo sabre yi womo so no omo galamsey no ana womo ye galamsey eti yanko say Bernard Entwibu Asiako and 2 accused I say pleaded not guilty to all count 2 was say undertaking a mining operation without a license no mining operation that cause them kind no nin krata bi a kire woni won krata so betimi yes edis adwumadie no e was Samina boy I say abetting the unauthorized felling of trees not just dem di kan wa enua wodo e wo forest wo wo mo bo moden enu nua nyina asigu fam se beye no mu benya kwan na wo mu atimi atu aye galamsey no ene na hunu nti no Akoncha Mining Company Limited forest wo mu kosi mu Samina boy ebu nua wo nyina atu gold essence ase ensuo ane niema wo nyina no eno na hunu so no ehunu wo TV ne so no sei ana o ma ye ho Ubaka and say many the member of parliament for Amenfi West, Honorable Erikafo Edin Komo on the 29th of June 2026. Wabra in Sukasia, Eto my Ghana Muano, 30% of the whole Samina boy got flooded because Honorable Chayan say, would to me Galamsey no be or hono, wa diverting River Tano, wa diverting River Samre, and Odio Mania baby Wuvro, and Tinsuno to a yiri yano, now says you need a niche room. If it's a chairman, won't me a Galamsey. And they or quack them 20 years. Yenim say a pay back so. Yenim say, dear, chairman to me, that walk on me, and your bay but may catch His Excellency the President. I judge it for and this ya bay. I want to a member Mr. Siano so. Sir, a dear Bakua. And this yaban we ya yen ne amen krofo akoma atom yam aye chema wu to be jail now okono and they hope say it is not going to be like Agrada skates. You are not 15 years we be try one there be am catch President John Dramani Mama my president your president our president say ya NDC aba abemuno my father 3 top policies of the NDC, the 24-hour economy, Women Development Bank, and the Operation Recover All Loot. Maybe it's a kind of for on countless times to say, these top policies, they ain't no person who say, my penny John Dramani Mama, any NDC abe I believe I'm the program, no 80% of the vote, a come over. Ghana Libya, the already minister, Dabi. Yes, I would do NDC for catching in opposition. Say before you are many, MPP for you are minor, MPP for manager Padia, MPP and another Kufado and Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, 1 more year in Shanghai, and the Kano Forata were going to go to America. 1 more year in Shanghai, my MPP penny for a real mayo bro. It's your mobile, 1 more budget. Chairman Penisa and your for operation recover all Lutumra. It's the foreign minister, Honorable Samuel Kuja Chabla, Martin Kwebu, Uradom Levo, and in Petty Forward one for me, team Samudi Ora and him. The foreign minister, Honorable Samuel Kuja Chabla, say, out of 36 cases, I know my Shemono, say, President John Dramani Mama, any NDC Abai Samudu Manimbebu to Siom, no Majiskana Ghana Benya over $20 billion. As you can offer Ekufuado, ene Baumia, at the Ghana call IMF, at the harsh, your friend is saying, conditionalities. Ebe 2 years so, ekwaji a bailout of $3 billion, and Okrayan face can in boom, nemum, quarter beer, and normal review beer, normally $360 million bar, normally $300 million bar, Kwapim time one. Sabre, I know what they can say, IMF program, Abana 3 years, and it won't see who Ghana tia Ghana atua eti Alhaji Bawumia dia na wo kan wo ani chema wuntumi dia sie Ghana fo ahodo a wo mo ewo your friend is saying Facebook or your social media MPP for onim the MPP for the ayo man Ghana the pia se me kasa asem no a I said them with passion. The MPP amanyo ko ne the ayo man Ghana say nyanyankropo na dom ani Ghana for no mani ada ho and wo mo to aba boom Adema His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama any NDC abanya me say by this time ka una man ka Ghana ni track about sa said me watch ibomi anke bow if he say amanya hodo edge yesika by this time ye airport kan ko maje anke ye habo ko maje ni nyina because another kokufado Alhaji Mamudu Bawumia one of the 8 years bo be over 600 billion Ghana cedis enti what ho now we Ghana ni now se sensami still and sinu with him now pa bone yefo a tokoso na konfo bone wose kroma eya na otimubi ya to adwumadi no so mfa ma wo e wa ha abuze enkoya chairman Bernard entwibo asia ko chairman wuntumi ne lawyer ni a wono edi asemi achi ya friend Bernard Oredu Donko court any sentence ne ma chairman wuntumi wie lawyer Bernard Oredu Donko ne nsema odi tuja ye nche ne mra be to adwumadi.
Yes, I do appreciate that. Yes, there are situations where the veil of incorporation could be lifted and directors could be held responsible. It is not in all situations that those things are applicable. So I'm sure it's an area his lawyers would have to look at and see if it will open up some areas of appeal for him. But I'm a bit worried and a bit sad. Probably she did, probably she did not. Because I was of the view that the minimum sentence was okay. Because I made a point that getting Wuntumi out of the picture, that is incarcerating him, may affect a lot of things, especially his businesses, the number of people he employs and all that. So that was the appeal I was making to the court, that yes, the court has come to the conclusion and convicted Mr. Wuntumi for all the offenses. But in terms of the sentences, I mean, the court ought to consider his significance in society, especially the chain of businesses he owns. And I also made the point that currently we are struggling with a lot of youth employment. And if the court itself has established that Mr. Wuntumi is the directing mind of all his businesses, it means it's very crucial to his businesses. Getting him away from his businesses in giving him such long sentence may negatively impact on the businesses, and the young people who get jobs through his businesses and all that, they'll come onto the street as unemployed, adding to the huge numbers who are already on the streets with no employment. So that was the appeal I made to the court, that the court should consider this particular circumstance of Mr. Wuntumi and probably give him the barest minimum of sentence. And for me, the point I was making is that yes, Mr. Wuntumi may have committed the offense, but it was the bigger picture I was looking at, because he was going to be sentenced anyway. So my mitigation was to reduce the sentence, that's all. It's not to put in a defense for whatever he might have done or not. As a lawyer, these things happen. It's not because it's Mr. Wuntumi. There are times when you are in court and you feel like you need to probably intervene as a friend of the court. It is something we do out of ordinary practice. It is not because it was Mr. Wuntumi. We have done this several times where we believe that we need to add our voice in mitigation. Remember, it is not against the conviction. It was just to intervene with the number of years he was going to be given. So it was against the sentencing that we were trying to mitigate, that the court should give him the barest minimum. It was not against his conviction. So it is not as if I did that to probably encourage illegal man. No. It was just for the court to understand that Mr. Wuntumi is just not like you and myself. He owns a lot of businesses. So the court, I don't know if she considered that.
And Wuntumi lawyer. Ne okan ho ekokot wa sa judgment we be to dwa lawyer Bernard Oredu Donko na oka se e o senka court no wo de o consider niam bi if the chairman Wuntumi bia nyuma bebre a Ghana for eye bi eno no ama employment aba na court yi ni kotumi no sa enkrofo mo ya adwuma nyina betimi alusu wo mo adwuma ama on employment aye kese entiga o senka court no ehwe sa de no eda no list on na kusipoku eka say MPP lawyer bi ani ho awoni mumra I don't know say Bernard Oredu Donko wo ye MPP ni but what say ma wo kan entwasum lawyer yes me ye Ghana ni me so me kire ma adwen a kire wo entwasum ensuo nyinam say won to me wo businesses a wabie etinka court no ntimfie no so ma no lawyer tena se din na tie o video we bohwe bio etu obi fa kwambone so make sika be no de be those businesses ana won to me no adwuma no ewa no oni mpanifo eda no o mo hwe ne nyuma so ma no oni mpanifo ono hwe sa nyuma no so won to me ni TV ni radio ada businesses a wo kasa o wono ayo no no tie no hwe etu mo timi run sa businesses no because one boss akoye galamsey I'm a court a sentence in 20 years into prison. Eti lawyer senka court hwe lawyer was some entaso menche ho entaso nyade agana for 80 okra eti menche ho abusia enkohwe His Excellency the former president of the republic Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo wobra na Ghana for eka se chema untumi eye galamsey esay su esay sase esay forest the okan ye be beto adwumedi ni.
Let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta Mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves in the country and rid them of illegal mining as we speak. We will continue to work to ensure that this situation remains permanent. This government is determined to win the fight against galamsey, no matter the cost in effort.
His Excellency, the former president of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in 2023, and o kan sa same way. Na Ghana for eka Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, wo ba won tumi oye galamsey. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, wo fa se won tumi oye galamsey. Ken Nana ya kuntunkunuku oforiata, wunia won tumi oye galamsey. Oko samra boya, wo tunsiom obunuagu. Yenya as the sitting president of the Republic in 2023. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ebe defending obe chesting semonwa na Ghana for kan say wonu woka edin nsadui asinebo say Akonta Mining onye galamsey da enei court essay in somewhere Attorney General de ababe kire no witnesses ahodo wo kura na ni Akonta Mining ye adwuma managing directors anom wo Akonta Mining mu ebe gina oso mbeye dansefo ade amasem no na yampa chema wuntumi na de omko ho so omko tu galamsey na Dankwa Akufo-Addo, where are you? This is a shame for a president to defend illegal mining, for a president to defend galamsey. This is a huge shame. And ADSC Omanpenida de Akufo-Addo utifie ete osan ohunam ye osan utibuadi osan wani aje owura ho ana san ana pese Ghana fo ehu ne oba yade wantimi antia no defende no Omanpeni okasa esi enai Ghana fo nyina hu say then you might be part of Akonta Mining operations. Sana Ghana for go to social media. On say na Dankwa Akufo-Addo ebe defending semi and na Dankwa Akufo-Addo onim chema won to me Akonta Mining galamsey no bi. Yanko hwe won to me mra wo bra okotu sa agudie wei na okotina na radio station so actually say Ghana nyo no good on solid money etiya fa yani ni ehwe bi. Yanko hwe mra to admedi no so.
What you say? Solid money. Mami fa bi egun chiro. What you say? Solid. What you say? Solid money. Solid. What you say? Solid money. Mami fa bi egun esa chiro. Solid money. I'm talking about solid money. What you say? Eti kasa won to me was sika. Anya bango. Anya gold. It is so good here. I can't watch me. Ute, Mammy Fabio, Mammy Fabio. So boy, solid money. We are talking about solid money. Solid money. Oh, and that's Mammy Fabio Crash. Mammy Fabio Musacho.
Bernard Ng Buasiako, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, Chairman Untui, as people call him. Another day, the Accra High Court said one kononko dem fie aduonu. Enam kwan bone so wo fast to gold, mu gold no. Samna boy gold no. One dey no dey kire. Okotena the TV so, not na the radio so a. Was a kind of one nyina hwe se wo no and o gold pa. Those gold bars, woni mbako bo. Na na kwaku fado di fiane no. Hwe Chairman Untumi. Hwe dey no dey gold ye. Ti asantemam, oti kokko so ekrom na wuntumi yi gold gu table so owie oba Paul adomo kire ho won kran obeyi gold na kase ni nyina na mpanifo okrom a Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia na no atum na nado aka na no atum kan ofurata wadwane Africa na Latin America aka na no atum. And then what are you telling Ghanaians? There is a reset, and before some of us will heavily believe in the reset, these are some of the things we want to see. Jail them if you see them culpable. So my no put them behind bars. Now on my way. This is to serve as a deterrent to end this year. Yes, we have your names, we have your videos. And Chebia, everybody, Chamaun to Yanchi. On my penisa one pet, and on the Yana you follow. It's Yensa documentary, yeah. And this is from penny for be yagalam say. O man penny akasaka. So want to be chantro nyinani. Say one on abe mo bi yagalam say. Ente bia mudi beba bontin. Abusa yanko victory garlic mixture for aso ye mfemra. Wa mu nro mo wo yare wa hodo esa. Yanko ne nkwohwe bimra odi o ma to bi bebo.
Enua victory garlic mixture na wati ni dinati ati ni say na edro ni tie. Na no pasem ne say edro we adwuma ye titru pa ne say ebeboa ananna ne srade e wo ni padua ni muntin mu ama ohu atọ kura de dika obabi wo ha okomfikyire a ema edura wuhia ye victory garlic mixture ebi kura wo bekọ a ewie wo ansa na ba ye victory e na wuhia victory no ma na busumi biara ubenya ofikyire akwa empa ho kura eno de akyi a obi wo ho ani ti ne ka adwa no obi wo ho ye adwuma kakra bia no abre na nakuma bɔ ne periperi ni nyina ye mogya entimi mfa akoma no nkwa adwen mu eno ne kɔfa saa de ne ba odofo mesrew so wo ho na wonsɛm ta adwew ebia wonsa no sei ana wonam ro mu na esi fom no kra adwew ana ayetofo sɛ de edi fom ato mpaboa mu a eye victory na me kan fom a wonum victory asa no ma ye bobɔ so nyina no ebegyae de ɔtɔ ho anadwo a wontimi na wohia victory emframa nyankopɔn de ama yɛn sɛ yɛ humi wo de wo humi a na wo tie so o bra eye victory na betimi aboa wo ye wo bi wo so a wo ho ana ne yɛma hye no a obia na ne ka obia nya ne hwe obi wo so na koma bɔ ne periperi ni nyina mogya ne ntimi ne afusa ne ye wo ni padua no ɛtura wunya ye victory garlic mixture de watwa bra ya bia ya na sɛ kokodue ne nam no ho ye ne basa eye victory na me kan fo wunya victory bi no a ɛbɛboa wo sɛ doctor de wato aduro so sɛne a ubetimi anom victory na ka waduro wonnyina ne se waduro no na abɛnom a meat aduasa no anom we so na abɛnom a no anom victory no so achi meat aduasa wo yɛ ne sa bibia bɛde kama ma se wona se tata wo yɛ agya ho adwuma mesraw adura me kan fo ma wa yɛ victory garlic mixture mesraw nipa ne bia danse a yɛpɛ se yɛfa wo ma danse na tie na se wo so kɔtɔ a wobenya saa danse koro no a
ntwe mi mpedwa mi ntumi ni di mi yare so mene ko be 12 years di man nu nduru kan mojeduru 5 million de trim matutu ana se na meti TV ntumi na me hwe ne mu se motan drobi esi victory herba victory garlic mixture ne mi mtoduru sa ba moduru no asa moduru no eye papa ntumi ni di o mi din sa no me di afi bi no se di ya na afi insan afi bi no ntumi di bi afi mi di ma edubone sa bi semi anu so no ntumi di anu so mi be mu sa afi de anu so be du bi no ntumi di bi afi mi hu de me nya me wan bi ti edu no kan wo TV so a na me kutu bi ni me do no anopa eni awiane anwumre no ande no si afi nyampara me no adibia mtumi didi no si afi na toilet me ko ye black masa modro no tie edoni ye na nyame nhira mo
aje me pa me problem ye menstrual pains nda ne kakra me so me nya me menses no boso me ma me bre pa me brankasa me tim to tondro no na ne se man ti se yesi ye bidro ha na makoto ba bia me we me tim fa ka ekọ obi kru so ekoto bidro me tim no abi chese na victory ni de in fact I don't know me nim de wo mu de me koto obi me ti advert no TV so sada na me so anwunwe na me koto ye na dana me say ade yi to me paade mu no moja tropa yi to me paade mu ti me twa to me phone no so kura say ha adwene a enka me de betum aka ho na mo ahye te say so wa hwe ye kwa baka se na bia me ya bo hye na me no maduro bi te say efi sada na yi sa moja troa no to me paade mu no me nya mezes no maduro e ma me hu sa emoja se bi like say kwọchị te say ni nyina flow kama ti victory tie mintimi enja ento ho te to de bia na mo ba abaso mo me so abaso na edun ne me di hu adanse
obi si me de cholesterol sa de bone e na aba mi nipadua ma ba di atenase waduro ye victory garlic mixture se wunya victory ni no ma cholesterol no se ne nani e density bia no victory be yi ni nyina afi nipadua no odofo wo pedia to anama ne 024 25 45 633 024 25 45 633 and 020 129 3280 020 129 3280 a victory nkunim die ne de brem.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Hi. Now let me tell you about Safari Valley Eco Resort, the first of its kind in West Africa. Upon your arrival, you are introduced to your butler, who plans your itinerary.
We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park.
So many activities, all in the same premises. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife and how to interact with them.
They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have here.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature. The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 Ga West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
Before the court. The central question was whether that concession had been assigned or transferred in violation of the law. It is our respected view that no evidence was adduced before the court establishing any such assignment or transfer of mineral rights by Chairman Wontumi. The prosecution could not produce any evidence to show that Wontumi had assigned his mineral rights. Instead, the conviction rested on assumptions and inferences which, in our view, could not amount to proof beyond reasonable doubt. That is why we firmly believe that his conviction is a travesty of justice and has to be overturned on appeal. Fellow Ghanaians, equally disturbing is the broader context within which this prosecution has taken place. A troubling pattern is emerging in our country, a pattern where the government appears eager to shield its own while relentlessly pursuing perceived political opponents who have done no wrong. Today, the John Mahama-led NDC government may seek to celebrate this conviction as evidence of its commitment to fight against illegal mining. Where there is evidence of galamsey on a large scale engaged and supervised by leading members of John Mahama's government, we reject that narrative entirely. And I repeat, the New Patriotic Party rejects that narrative entirely. They think that the conviction of Chairman Wontumi will be the trophy to appease the Ghanaian people for their failures. This is no trophy. The Ghanaian people cannot fail to notice that while the political opponents who have done no wrong are being aggressively persecuted, questions remain unanswered regarding individuals associated with his government, with his party and government who have themselves been publicly linked to illegal mining activities. Indeed, the president himself has acknowledged that persons in his administration are involved in galamsey. What concrete action has followed those admissions? Who are those members of the president party that are engaged in galamsey of which the president knows of? What has become of the petition submitted to Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO, seeking an investigation into allegations concerning Mr. Joseph Yamin, the NDC National Organizer, and Abanga Yakubu, Vice Chairman of the NDC? You are asking these questions. Mr. President, what has become of those investigations? What has happened to Honorable Mohamed Yakubu, NDC MP for Ahafano South, Ahafano South East, and his DC, who was sacked from a chief's palace after they alleged that he was heavily involved in Galamsey in their traditional area. What happened to the NDC MP for Aworin, Honorable Oscar Ofori Labi, who was accused by the chiefs and the people of Aworin, as well as Ghana's coalition against Galamsey, for engaging in Galamsey? Why has the nation not witnessed the same level of urgency and determinations in those matters? Justice cannot be selective. And I repeat, justice cannot be selective. The fight against illegal mining cannot become credible only when it targets political opponents in respect of whom evidence of wrongdoing does not exist, while overlooking allegations involving others, especially from the president's own party. Ladies and gentlemen, we also wish to state that Ghana faces far greater than political persecution at a time when our nation is grappling with growing security threats, the devastating impact of illegal mining on our cocoa farmers and farming communities and the areas owned by farmers, the government's inadequate response to recent flooding across the country, and the increasing menace of tourism within the sub-region, Ghanaians expect leadership that demonstrates agency, competence, and an unwavering commitment to protecting lives, livelihoods, and national security. No government should attempt to divert public attention from those pressing national concerns through selective prosecutions designed to create the appearance of success. Finally, let me assure all members of the New Patriotic Party and the good people of Ghana that Chairman Wontumi is not alone. There is no justification for the judgment since the judge obviously ignored clear evidence exonerating Wontumi. The New Patriotic Party stands firmly with him. Our legal team has already commenced the necessary steps to challenge his judgment through the appellate process. The MPP considers Wontumi a political prisoner. The MPP considers Wontumi a political prisoner. The MPP as a political party considers Wontumi a political prisoner. Thank you very much. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. We do the achieve.
Justin Frimpong Korea, General Secretary, and about the New Patriotic Party, MPP, and a Sabria, Chairman Wontumi, sentence at the Accra High Court, at the Abon, 20 years. One concord fiasse. Now, one fan some or dead, some dinner, my Ghana Muano. The MPP for woman General Secretary on their press conference, so much judgment at the Accra High Court, at the Atu Ghana, Patcher say. Kwanya da court na fa so ebuaku ye Wontumi atanwe se won kwada mu mfie aduonu no ano de na no hyedodo owie nyina o say Wontumi womu MPP for the womu consider as a political prisoner na chese no amanyo semu a ye nti ana wotan bi nti ana Wontumi nya NDC ni nti entina ne na NDC ne woso de a ene ye ngeli Chairman Wontumi. Send me say semetepe na jinjame na me jareti. Coming from a lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodia. On the one who swate motene kromwa afa kron sadi mope motene kromha. So also be kind of credit akyere wo a Justin Frimpong Kodia na nya wo politics ni bia na wo ye eti se wo twa ntro a de Chairman Wontumi ye no kromwa no yemo ensem emanu ana abusan san kwa MPP for no wo mo sen akasa ye ba kakra ne ento aso
sabi gold o ya sase so eno enya ade a court no edi akyinie enti a kyerese Chairman Wontumi no okrata e man ho kwan
so obetu form agudie asama court no eka ene se omo gyina so a omo de chairman wontumi akotwe abanku kom ne se omo se chairman wontumi krata na okra na emrem no ho kwan so obekra sa krata no odi sa krata no ama obi se onfa nkoye adwuma abra lance minister ama approval sabi enche se wontumi okoye galamsey if say title na okra no na emrem na edimu boni aban ne kaso aye ne se o se chairman wontumi de ne krata ama obi akoye adwuma aban na mprenso na so so court no prosecution na ntima kire preference ampa adanse a wa kire se chairman wontumi e de ne krata na saase ama obi se ofa nkoye adwuma aban no amprenso prosecution no o ma ntima kire judge we di asem no ese amu ba ye be di adanse na asem o mo kan ye no eno no do tu nsie ni a o gina so a o ka se chairman wontumi edifo eno ne mmem ye ka circumstantial evidence na so so want man prove beyond reasonable doubt a bad criminal prosecution ese prosecution na se court na edigina so ka asem no obi asem o ka kan ye eno nti na judge na edina so a o ka so di chairman wontumi akotu oban no kukumu ye MPP party no dey kan say o man peni mahama say o papa say bi illegal mine e friend galamsey no obeko ho na so betu ho esa ene wa bemu enkofo bebre wo ma wa ukọ di tum say omo to na so omo ye galamsey o man peni de Ghana fo busa ne say sa asem no akosi sen o party fo no no omo ye no ehu asem no akosi sen na akoye say o man peni ni NDC awhare a asem bi afa opposition fo no omo edekọ na se omo tu ho asa no ene sa ohare ni bi na asem fa NDC fo ho a omo tu sa asa no ekofo di petition ko ma yoko efa NDC or national organizer you say me ami ho ene omo vice chairman Abanga Yakubu ho se omo ye galamsey omo apeni ni NDC fo ebusa mo se asem no akosi sen uye nu fru a NDC no so be jani owo Afano South East your friend Mohammed Yakubu ohine bi pamo ni free na himfie enam se oye galamsey hu no ebuso ma peni se akosi sen oba aworin MP or NDC MP or friend Honorable Oscar Ofori Labi eko bi friend Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey ese papa no oye galamsey yebuso ma peni ni NDC fo ne se saa no mani nyina no akwa akosisen before saa akonya we so maka cho man peni se ensema ehia Ghana fo hwe se obetu hu sa no ena hu sa na otu na emom ni opponent ena wa na adwen se obetu nani edi esi wo so koko farmers fo esu sabi encheye ena nsuo eyi fa amanfo omo nkran ha ena regis ni bi aka o ma peni kan wadi ya wadi prosecute opponents no kasa wadi ni bi no fa ko hye sa ntokwa we mu se be ya flag no sem no engine sem wo mem ha na Jamaica ko wie ni se me share titafo me share mo boss LP chairman wontumi eja ni mu me catch mo se
coming here from the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party. Now leadership of the party this afternoon is
MPP Amonyoko no the General Secretary of the MPP, Justin Frimpong Godia, and Ogusua and Sema Okan or Brofumno, or the Ba Echimu, na Obi Sama, Penny John Dramani, Mama Cran, Sema who do Obia, one was to say, and this if one some penny for you, Mama Yagalam Senibi. No man Penina Casakraba Giatum, Aka say, what me Muna Ningo so, it is Sancrophone almost so more yet, Galam say, or NDC party, no, I was saying. Now on to me, Sam Wadina. What they prosecuted a year MPP for and as a past officials of the MPP. Our galam saying some one wound to me a decline. One for the same man what invention. None in crop funny be a woman so ya galam say one for one new Juma. I know dear. Penny John Dramani Mahama wakasa a oguso di nwujuma eye wuntumi a under at least omampani wadi atum eye nwujuma under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the former president of the republic, obe defending wuntumi ni akonta mining se enye no kreda chama wuntumi ni akonta mining enya de wo mo ye illegal mining enya de wo mo ye bi ye wo kroma ya ekosi sai enei a competent court of jurisdiction and was say enyina so ahodo the attorney general of the Republic of Ghana wodi ababe to nanim se chema wuntumi akosamra boy wakwakwo ye galamsey wa ma ho kwa menkrofo bi so akoye galamsey wo breko wo mo ni tumi krata a wo mo di bedi sajuma no wo ma sensuo wo ma sensase wo ma bubu yanua e wo forest magufom. And lawyer, what are you saying? What are you telling Ghanaians? Omaina ni abreu. Medikia kasa. His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. Researching our diabano. This is part of them. This is one of them. Ghana for bebre na kuma waso. Because MPP for muku Ghana. Muku wamai. Must say wamaino. Mudi wamaini to amenem. Mu bo wamai krono mu wia wamai. Mo fa man se mo japade de mo pena mo de ye mo hwe aban bia ni wa wasi fom a ya line crofo up to say MPP ebe go so ba in the coming days months weeks ahead ye be hu MPP fo a wo mo be court na wo mo ebe jeli wom enu ti ana sabra ide eye your friend say Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia Flybearer wasi ana mama Amansan tribunal bail no obesan yankwa man so yani Mugabe man say the capacity man commander of the 9 million engines in Kwakasa ever chema won't be another 20 years area man commander ultimate come me akwaba about power TVS wise at inside politics you mediation yes wow show kasie me samu akwaba basobio commander high court ama chairman won't to me 20 years and I'm Samra boy galam say I wakoyi ye wo hono sabre ye na kwakopie ensawam commander wako hoda se ukodru ensawam ni ye de ukojela first day no then na ye si twanfo ni kire kakra
meda avefo ni etiefo nyina asinema mo bebi akwa ba TVS so as a power 97.9 FM so ene enyumbe enam bibi ntino ene mini studio me check some my HSA about 24 minutes ago and omode chama want to me you know ka say I drew a year in some a year prisons yeah I feel na omoti na no asem e wa see ho and sana national cell leader wisdom national cell leader wo in some to see I ka say your friend wisdom okoho in 1993 na just man paying dada the John Rawlings pencil and the Abranti Kudi Mo and some prisons in 1993 near the coho. Now we'll check out behind the number of years here. What the one so national cell leader in some medium prisons. And we will be a calling some no cell leader. Yeah, wisdom no cells and I'm one. On an cell leader. You see, I make us say 23 minutes ago, and Omodi Chama want to me a druho. This is here, no, Okwa, or I say, I finish taking the details of him or by within the same, the end do by, and then we are cell cry than the air corner. Yeah, they know ever call. Now, Yakutina, and was him could do so, once. Omobi sana no asem de na de ne ba e de no ye no na mane na sana ye de na ye den a kire ne be bi obeda na ya kire ni the rules any regulations ye den e wo ye in some medium prison so na ya na edu service ya na ya reho cause na date ye 20th year July 2026 aka na wo twe pepe ye monte trade no 27 July 2016. Tonight, I can't watch a pepe near dear Cohon, 10 years. I want to miss your copy. 20 years, general, and yet is a million. I say, we don't know that, but they do baby say, me too, I'm a tea, na mibisa me ho sɛ nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ na sɛ nipa wanya na ayɛ de yɛ ma akwanya sɛ bɛsom a som ne som yie sɛ wobɛsom man sɛ woyɛ na chairman sɛ woyɛ regional chairman sɛ yɛ ma contract bi anaa sɛ wotumi bi a wanya na sɛ wodi yɛ adwuma a wɔsɛ da bia wosom na wɔyɛ dɛ wosom yie da bia na meka sɛ yɛ sɛ wokɔto sɛ obi abɔdwo hyɛ asia no ayɛ den wɔsɛ nso asi wodeɛ yɛ sɛ wɔ apɔntees o deɛ ɛkɔ yi ɔmo sua biribi afiri mu anaa because yɛn nkɔfoɔ bi wɔ hɔ ɔmayɛ ɔmadwene sɛ ɔmo ntie hwee illegal mining activities yɛ kan ɔmo de ɔmo bɛkɔ so ayɛ den ayɛ aban baako ntena so forever aban bɛkɔ aban bɛba aban bɛkɔ aban bɛba badeɛ ne esua firi mu nsɛm a wontumi kan ɛwɔ radio so ɛwɔ yɛ TV so ɛwɔ Ghana ha obiara nnitua niko ya yɛkɔ so nyinaa no obiara yɛ de nnitua ɛwɔ mɛmo ha ya de wɔ sɛ nyinaa yɛde yɛsua hunu ne mu sɛ nsɛm bi hɔ a yɛka nsɛm bi hɔ a ɛni sɛ yɛka nneɛma bi hɔ a wɔse yɛyɛ nneɛma bi hɔ nso ɛni sɛ yɛyɛ den ɛyɛ sɛdeɛ ɛda bi yɛka sɛ twerɛ kronkron ka sɛ yɛwɔ adeɛ nyinaa ho kwan nso ɛnyɛ no nyinaa na ɛyɛ den ɛne fata yɛn ntutu ya na mmɔ yie wɔ yere wɔ mma wɔ abusua meme deɛ too me no na 2016 na meba ɛwɔ less than 4 years the imagine sɛ akwadaa da biara no wɔne wo kasa na afei deɛ ɔfa phone koraa na ne maame frɛ ne papa na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔne ne papa kasa onya for a period of 1 month na wɔnte wo ba nka wɔnte wo yɛ nka gyene ne nyɛ easy ane nyinaa no amanyɛsɛm deɛ wodi ho wura mu a wosɛ wo ne sɛ biribiara bɛtumi ayɛ den asi life wei no yɛwɔ baabi a obiara bɛtumi akɔ hɔ one sɛ wode ho afɔre sɛ wobɛyɛ amanyɛsɛm baabi a bɛtumi akɔ yɛ prison two ɛyɛ sɛ wobɛkɔ baabi a wonsa ma bi ɛno ne yɛ the last journey a nyankopɔn de ama yɛn sɛ nnipa bɛwu na wobɛkɔ a wonsa nyɛ den wonsa ma bi ɛma mmienu wei no wɔ sɛ yɛda dwom ho sɛ ne nyinaa akyi no yɛkɔ a hefa ne yɛkɔ ne yɛba a hefa ne yɛba ɛnɛ yɛ da a ma reflect yɛtoo me no ne ade no mmerɛ a ho yie papaapa yɛ ade si yɛ a na mehu sɛ ɛnɛ ɛnyɛ good day ɛma ɛyɛ me ankasa a me ne wɔkasa asɛ brada wontumi wayɛ nea ɔso wɔyɛ na yɛma wɔ adwuma sɛ yɛ na wanyɛ sesei no akontaman ne nko adeɛ na aba wo sika ɔgye yɛ sɛ ɔkɔdua aburo ɛzem bank ho nsɛm ne ade no ɛnya maayi o ne akontaman ne deɛ nko a na ayɛ dɛn ɛna aba ɛno nso baa sɛ ne sɛ wɔyɛ pre-bargaining ɛno nso sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ dɛn sɛ na ɛbɛkɔ in his favor anaasɛ ɛnkɔ in his favor nyinaa wɔ adeɛ a wɔ sɛ ɔyɛ nti Obrempong yɛte ase a yɛma appointment ne yɛyɛ ne yɛsom ne yɛkɔ ne yɛba no yɛsom a yɛnsom yie yɛma yɛ positions ne yɛsom a yɛnsom yie deɛ bɛyɛ a ɛdeɛ bɛkɔ amamne mu ma yɛnyɛ menka sɛ ne yɛwɔ power nti meyɛ semɛse meyɛ Mugabe meyɛ ɔbɛnten nti mɛyɛ biribi a mepɛ bia because maba na wɔ power ma foforɔ bi bɛba na ebia de woyɛ no sɛ wɔ sɛ wɔyɛ dɛn wobu ho akontade wɔ adwuma a bɛyɛyɛ no wɔ sɛ wo render ɛyɛ account ɛde ma ɔfoforɔ a wayɛ dɛn waba no ɛsa ɔdɔ no bom a ahoboa bɛɛ na wayɛ ɛna akonta bɛɛ na wabɛbu ɛnɛ yɛwu ntumi o ɛyɛ ne aka no nso yɛsua biribi afiri mu ntietire mu yɛtoo so amanfoɔ kasaeɛ ɛnyɛ ɔmo no ɔmo rɔte in prison nipa bebree kasɛ amanfoɔ wɔ ɛyɛ TV so nsɛnkyerɛfoɔ a yɛne ɔmo kɔba ɛne wɔn a yɛne ɔmo to nsɛ didi ikodi hɔ no yɛsɛ yɛma yɛn kɔporɔ wɔ hɔ ɛno ne yɛka na nipa bi a bɛyɛ wɔ abɔnten bi anya it will never change anything nipa no wɔkɔ as we speak ɔwɔ nsɛmɔm wɔn na wɔdi n'akyi ɛwɔ ɛyɛ court wɔ ɛkɔba asese yɛde ne kɔ wɔdi n'akyi kɔ nsɛmɔm wɔ bi ɛnyɛ dɛn ɛnyɛ yie nti yɛn reflect yɛn nyinaa nsuasu no bi sɛ ɔman Ghana na yɛbɛ so sɛ nea ɔdɔma ɔman Ghana yɛma wɔn konya sɛ som a sompɛ mu na daakye bi no legacy a wobɛgya hɔ no wonni hɔ biem koraa na Kwame Nkrumah yɛakasɛ wobɛbɔ ɔkorɔ no ne abɔ odin ayɛ dɛn aka asɛmpa ɛnɛ mewerɛ hɔ menka sɛ ɛyɛ me dɛ sɛ bi yɛde kyama wontumi ɛkɔ because prison deɛ ɛhɔ ma obi biara ɛte sɛ wowuo saa gyane no woyɛ mistake sɛ woyɛ politician a prison kofoɔ kɔɔ bi Rawlings kɔɔ bi Mugabe kɔɔ bi Kwame Nkrumah kɔɔ bi obi biara bɛtumi ayɛ dɛn alande wɔ at any given time to I say o media me as me say media me ntimi for into to me
capacity yeah that's it we any o story a oni aba che
na mo ne sem no kekan no
okay
mu bi ma manfo ntie
okay
say obi antumi no oye ho da
yeah
kasasa
yeah that's it
and before no so hu sem mo kan any chachuchi katamu Victor Solomon mu the late
yeah
and you know honorable Kwame Petra mu with ye dana bodapimu any mo mu do mu fe mu no say you see ye say yanko ye nim se wo mai
me that's go na
to me
okay
afenyo mark one certain omo abo na niam no ma make no fa mark yes I'm sending the signal to him and just na so about for no na ekasa no say afenyo mark dey da wo ye ni nyina no me nim se kevi metime yi sa yina mo meka wo the same platform say to me wonya less than 20 years I said it say Kevin betime ahwehwa ma wa ne rap betime wo hwe no nyima na ebo but afenyo when you're very careful because enche ono so bia won to me won o join
me da say capacity awie ene womra wodi ababa sumye e inside politics media so that's about okay Mugabe man see the capacity man commander of the 900 million angels miame boss ajumedie ayene dia na wotena so edi eho juma na yene ne kasa in 2016 July 27th muntie 3 yere yomuko prison ewo ensem ahodo bi a esiye wo breko ana wo modi omujumedie ewo radio so enei aye chema huntimi ochenei ebetimi aye obi a ebetimi ato wo Obrempong ebetimi ato obi a depending on jumedie edie ama no kwan be na wo faso edi no sei na wo faso na waye no abusia betwe ho ba bio ye ba yani Listowell Nana Kusi Poku executive director Edema Good Governance Advocacy Group Ghana Penny Aba waye krado ye beda ne ye ho aba ye ba pe ye hye nkomodi na se twa ye ba sia.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 GA West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
Na ede na ya obayi a oda forma so ne yafunu mu emunumuni.
Oh Mr. Entry also yare ya titi bi ben fie pi nanso ne yam nyono da se me kire no ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa.
Menyi ni se what also tamfo Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture yanum bom kotia also no bia ma no anom anka ne ho ato no dadaada also dro de eno ne Hexa capsules any Hexa mixture
ankom ni nkyeremu
also yekura eto yefunu ene ensunumu etumi a woyefunu ekeka wa wogire ho a enye also etumi ema woye cheko ebra wadidi di awie somehow ɛyɛ ulcer de a kɔpɛ hexa capsules ɛne hexa mixture nanom bom na ho ɛbɛtɔ
Pedudu etu a kɔ Okanshi Drug Lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takrade AA Mensa Anafre 02038228855 Apefo abatan a wɔma wɔn mɔfra no fo ɛne mɔfra wɔn mfie dumienu ɛnka ho Hexa capsules ɛne ne mixture
ulcer tamfo ɛde agye adwadie nkratoɔ yi atom
Okada 247 ɛsɛ nipa sign deliver parcels
first no me so no pana me kɔ adwuma se ya na to ma dwendwen ɛsa ne traffic nti ɛfi sɛ menya Okada 247 me duntam abribia
Don't just get there on time. Okada 247, that's right on time. Okada 247, it is the best.
Okada 247, or you safe pa, everyone are 60 na waba. We're in disappoint so that Mrs. CCR on the number 5.
They be having pay transportation air affordable. Okada 247, and no name choice.
247, it is the best. Okada 247.
Download Okada 247 app na our phone so. Say Android and iOS. Okada 247. May am fa unko. Amu bamba kwanso.
Okada 247. It is safe.
If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehinfa pa na menya bosia edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre me busia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yemamu akwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekukuro bosia, susu account, and that's all wɔ savings account. Me bada chain savings account. And then the keka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 03422918896. Now one so what to miaka say.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka owner.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Obrempong eye adwumada. Eboa eyam aduane. Eboa eyi nsa free ni peduanim. Na eboa woni pedua ma etena ho yie. Nanso wonim sɛ niema a yedi na yenom timi ma brebo ye adwumaden sen pote.
Me hu da. Me brebo ye adwuma pa. Ebia sɛ me ntumi ye bibi boa me brebo.
Ani and nointing about the left hip from the Moses Clinic near Herbal Center about Herbal Food Supplement. We sit in pan the barberbo, ama a year jumayi.
Na, a juma.
Fatopa yenu, and no pani anymore. Na a boama berbo ye jumayi. Send a beya, a bit me and yam a jania woody, and sissy ni pejanimo, a ye moving see.
And none of me brebo can't pan.
Ubenya Left Kid or pharmacy, herbal shops, ne supermarkets are ebeo. Sa wope dodo so to a 0244 06 8447. Left Kid, wa brebo, wa woni pedua. Edro yi enye ma apemfo, e ma ema omomanofo, ne mmofo a wonya mfie dumie. FDA agi dwedie krato yi atum.
Emma Wakwabaka Sebio about TV XYZ, and we are also live on Power 97.9 FM. Inside Politics, Jumedia Sunni, Jumedia Iso, and the Jina Fakwenya Hudu Isuna, Sama Hudu Echegu or Mangana Ha, the D Nessa Fata Sewonso, Ubetimenya Hontias, near the Abau Fiu, Okemu, and our Jumem Eddie Ababe Sumo, Copim at 6 p.m. Bebo Kaho, near the Jumedia Boom, Facebook at Power 979 FM, TV XYZ, and platforms, no, or Jumedia before I venture. Fatwa say me de pem ye beken kan dia ma wo sanso na ko YouTuber XYZ Broadcasting ɛwɔ hɔ no ma nso inside politics dwumadi twegu ɛhɔ nso bɔmmɔden hwɛ bi na yɛn nyina yɛntimi ne dwumadi FM mu medin deɛ nka Obrempong me na mede dwumadi ho kyia me de ama wo ɛnɛ yɛtoa yɛ dwumadi no so de ama wo ha ma me nkyia mini Japan ɛwɔ Kumase a wɔno wɔte inside politics dwumadi ho a wɔhwɛ Patrick nso ɛwɔ kre mia mikrom okwapema mu a wɔn nyinaa wɔn hwɛ dwumadi bi Nyankopɔn onhyira mo yie paa abusha X natural mineral water nsukrogen a emu da hɔ kama abere bia no sɛ wobɛno mu nsuo na wanya hotoso sɛ kwakwa di dwuma so na wapɔmudi asipia ta no menye X natural mineral water yema wo ne wabusua nyinaa wobɛyɛ yie wedding party bia abacho nipa dodo ba no fɛ nsuo fa serve om na obi anya hotoso wapɔmudi mu ɛba ne nsuo no mu a wokɔ Melcom minister bi ɛbɛn wa obɛnya nsuo bi atonemu wo shop na afei na also wotin kaibo yi na opebi atu de go shop mu aton afa number is here me dey to join na frɛ on beje so nya X natural mineral water nsuo bi e de go shop na so aton 0596273546 0596273546 and 0596273547 na fei on setimi aka X natural mineral water na simply natural Divine Hope Herbal Center sebra Ochia eba powder abedwa man so esa yarewa bi ti say waist pain e man e mema afi pulse e koko sexual weakness low libido stroke ulcer and menstrual disorder say wo yare e kan de mabobo yi ho a ma on sentiment nka Ochia Herbal Powder Divine Hope Herbal Center for edi abedwa man so na sa edro intimi tu yare ase enfema ukokofodua Gapsin Pharmacy ubetimi anya bi ato ho Cap Herbal usunyane House of Drugs ewa Sharma boachi ansa o Cape Coast na na boachi eba wotema PK Gombila wotamale for number si amedi tu dwai se wo pharmacy shop and herbal shop now pese Divine Hope Herbal Center for Emma Ochia Herbal Powder na fegumu ton dia foforo nkwa no mo be 0591 565-557 0591-565-557 and 0550-639-037 0550-639-037 or Tria Heba Pada or see Jana Shewa Wawbeba. The National Petroleum Authority for Samingusu Menkayo Tanka Edana to Kwaso Ufi any man on Patemwa and Fabo and Fapan and Fabiasa Okwako so petrol diesel and kerosene a woman be if you say Jabet to Mobi or Ben Tanka no Wetimiu. Tabiribia be unsa tanka bia dania to bia no number me di tu no be frɛ na wa frɛ the National Petroleum Authority for onbeje so de mpanifo mama omotete ombetimi abe nsiesie info ye ne bia ma bia iko tanka no adania to no bia anhwere ne nkwa obetimi so about the Ghana Police Service the Ghana National Fire Service for amane wo breko ho se tanka bi adane ato baby number obetimi afrɛ wo bra bo se tanka adane ato kwan so 0302550380 0302550380 kana channel so se wonko akuta no esombo kese pa esene petrol 1 gallon ebetimi ahwere wonkwa ere afre won nsem tabiri bia no no amampanifo a wo betimi abeyensisi aba ho na bibia ye kama de ama ho abusia aha eye TVSYZ ne power 97.9 FM inside politics jumedi sunu ne yani listo wa nana kusipoku executive director edema good governance advocacy group Ghana and enkomo aka nyina no ye ba na ya babie ma me na kwaba ne yenhye enkomodi na ase nana akwaba yenua na mpom ti sen
ehu adom me ho ya papa
ene wabo fita kama oh fata ba
medase menim se efe
fata papa
menim se efe na mani agi wa awurade mu
wani agi wa awurade mu den na esi na mo wani agi wa awurade
oh se o se wona odo awurade no ade nyina di boa won na ewie won yie
bibi awie oye
ehu adom bibi awie mi yie
ade ensa na awie oye
oh se kokota kusuban ne patapa pieto ya de mra na woro nti se wo hwe sene justice system ne ye adwuma this time na ani je wom ama yaudia na ewo nipadom bebre no ekọ ama yehu se ehu ade sebi odo ho twere no a ade nyina di boawo na ewie wiye
ani tina amen ne
mani age papa
ya bre ne corridor nti yense na se enei Bernard Ntwibo asiako a wono the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the EMPP dodo na bone mrane chairman won't to me and the Accra High Court to me a sentence 20 years on Concord Fiase and Fenye or some ding and summer boy kwa ye kwan of fast koti a good year from a year galamse no de kodi say dwumadi man crofo kra kwan so mu 19 a ponum na womonye galamse court ene wabua na ten ama wakwa afiase sense me then I will can dia fa wona na
yo edikan ma men chetie for ni ahwefo na ahobrasie mu ne odomu mo omamba padwuma mo ye ya na ye ba ye mo mabaso pa ma me mo abaso na adwuma so a o ye boa o man na me dikan akire mu amagana fo nyine ho se media mani age papa enya re ho sem
chema wontumi jeu na wakono wani age
oh why not mani age pa
ade na mo wani age
me nya hypocrite da free ya wo me na sebi dachi bi se mi ni wiase na obi true tribute na de menye ye wo kasema ya me sama be di are ho papa na me nim se me tribute na wo say speak it to the me ye was hasi suntino I am one of those in that category omodwen ansa na omaye bibi na ewiase se na ma kire mu no categories of two human beings your category omodwen ansa na omaye bibi na your another category omode omo eyewie a na omakodwen ho
emu de yin na chema wontumi asem ye fall into
ono ye the latter
ye wi ansa na wadwene ho okay
na no na Albert Einstein o kire mu se kwase na yesa na sabio kwase anso etimi ji udwan otiase predwan na ewiase ewura otiase
yes
yenyina na yedi ho akɔhyɛ mrase yesi emra ena eni yentemu asem abribia
yes
ti ye free bibi rule of law na adia ya wo wiase mu ne ye lawyer woni mumra lawyer osi mra trase ma emra enwunu egu itrim anunti efrida mampani akufado be ye mampani me di free baby aba baby o
bitio pa
me kan say mo stations ne radio gold no other stations no mo de microphone be triama no bu sam say akufado me kan say onye mampani da no wa be ye mampani ti de na me woka na me so Yankupon ma Kufado be mampani said the beya and imbegu ase edikan na owifo wo ma agise obewia na wakum na wase no na Akufado nti na John 10:10 ewo ho me kan na so kan Yohani Sempati du yimudu na o se owifo wo ma agise obewia na wakum na wase no na kan to aso kakra bia ho joma amade o se na me de me bae se mu benya nkwa na mo nya ne mroso ti John 10:10 de ho ye Kufado dia
se 11 before bae so ba be wia no
wakum no wase
Kufado ebedi ade de no wia bibi wokum bibi o se bibi
o se oyonko bone se obrapa oyonko boni se me ne unamu yi se bi wo ye nipa boni ni ana me ye nipa boni ni a me se wo brapa na wo be se me brapa ntino se me hwe na de me ne nam no esu bi nya me kanu wunti a wo se me twe me ho wuntumi obi a se bi obi bia onim no wa amanyosemu na hyase se wutie oru alanchematen a ye nyina ne esom alanchematen ase me alanchematen 8 na Alan ye obi a na mayosem no me hunu se fama nyame ne doso ye de praye wo nani ye tete no ye twina boso ye ne nioma asabi eni fransem kwala nkitenkete no mu didi na tem ne nyina sabi okobie wa no kra kasa se wo yi ano on his behalf kra na onu ni mombu afu Until you got to a point you may be say you be intimidated Alan Chamatin Yajuma. Because you say we're a soft mom rather than a politician. Now, and I'm Alan so, and I'm minimum to me. Sense I want to say, you may find say, I'm your same one at 10.
Alan Chamatin. On what it Bernard and Chibuas, to me.
Yes. It is our share. First, no, one to me, ne Cassa, ne near, ne soon in a bind. Copus obey. I shall chairman. Oh, Sebi, na, you could say, Chiwachu, Mukra, na, and Yabasabasa. And no, then a hokobo kufuado. A quaquado. Quacubasa shiade. A summer back 2-3 million. And who since I saw and then went to me who face Yanko Pone Pianica. Meniaje papa. Or Yonko Bonnie say Obrempong will bet me the Tunqualafu. And ye say will be a penny, and ye penny sebu a penny be an idea hobono. Penny be a wa, would do bona, not all crack, so will be. What must I say?
Yes.
There is a very thin line between Uwu and the prison.
But how does the Nana Dankwa Kufuor, the former president, come in here with respect to wound to me galam say Okoye?
Company near friends.
Akunta mine.
Unim the Oya Contano. She say what you know, oh fee. And I would na would you media no oh prison.
What are Contano?
Akufuor. Obani wo on coming to me money.
Okay.
Obani wo didn't a friend Akunta mine Obani wo. Akufado na ya kontano. Enu na odimri katente ye say won to me illegal mining e wo kwayim. Who Akufado response even against his lands and natural resource minister. Ya o kwose said ye won to me ye na opani boni a wase ka ki pieto abegra begam say won to me ade a wo ye na ye. And then say Yankopon etwa wo ka me tina me tintin nani ase na me nya hypocrite say me the part say ade mutumi akotum Akufado nti sa no do ho bobi wo bremu a odi besua nyansa enu nti na nya obi anamfa na danfo no me obi o crowd wo accuse me say madamfo no a metimi am ye de wakọ court
oye president onkonwuram ebia wo mo soma a wo say Ghana for keka say won to me ye galance mo ko he o be ka chen say won to me ye galance e ono amfa na ni ko he e de ma no be ka
empani for bu baby na me de chen baby a o so opani due matemante tinka yi wani say de won te no say be why te say pani a we infra mabone so office say we president
yes
no office say na ntwe ni dua be ka ne to ana be ka confonsem eba ye ya wo kokko tu a wo fun ya wani ma ye hantwu a wo bia e so wu tumi wa so do dua so yi Akufo de wo so re no adi kon beef no wa make peche no wada okobi
ofie
de obetimi aya bo anza attach ya mebo awo onu so ni emre bia judge no ni mu no
Atachia is one of the biggest lawyers in NPP.
You could be big and you will be very useless in court. O big no, alumni, you to me court. When you appear could be near court. Why do you also utili wabo bill cha appear could be? Say you to yes I instruct you appear could be so also ko appeal nebo.
Yeah.
I don't know what gasa Atachia to aso. Because I say, one more arguing you so many law, and your judge no minimum. What bong? And maybe what? And yes, and you're quite young, you're brown. What the far? Opening the for Nanso no, Sebio, Mompekwa be a befa so as Sebio, I know from Brejo, and my battle,
yes.
But what did you say, Udibim? Then I'll be home. When a man crata would go forest ni. The rest of us I don't call the coverage no. When a man said to me now, they was some boy hono. Why 2 minutes so? Some midina way. Me ade betia obe wan say my first excavator, my fire you because me was sika me de beto excavator. Akofa China for na me de o mako gu na me tu. adanya hey we nyehwe me sorry anadwo ana makodo mama openi bibia be kama waben dia bibia e kama bibia ekoyi na mabobọ ni samrania hey bema no say gata no na masoye na meko na me tugala say ne kwa ade echi a President Mahama say napoku onye illegal money bia say John Mahama ko position na napoku tu galamsey a LBP for na eba manusi sumina so sumina kan so
I don't say MVP for be to
be no me e di na wo boy see akura me ko manusi sumina so pa sumina kan e sumina so ade
MVP for be di o man so
e sumina so ade ni kwa say si biem I want to aso nyina mu
ini se Ghana for hu no MPP
debi
say be di Ghana so
e ye bonuma e tabrebo ho bonuma e kulipa e ya bofun de e ya tantan de nipa woni oni yonku nipa ya de o tuni fo wo ntie de ono pe no obeye na se kwesi boni kura ba Ghana ha se bi obedi yeso se ye kubu a ye se ye colonial masters no omo kura na ye kasa no mutie na de ku fodo de ba ye won che colonial master obi amo saka ni se won che colonial master. How do you expect that thing to ever happen in this country again? That's why your mambo any kwasi I wish that. I don't think you throw down, you side down, but you can say never again. And it's a must do. It's a must do advocacy. Say never again must we allow for MPP to ever come to the reins of power again. Never again. Do you think this will happen under John Mahama? Which government, even under Kufuor or no MPP, no? Do you think, sir, Kufuor will be that bold to say, hey, we to be censure, sequoia, not to God, never God, never 13 so, now you tell man, Sansa will gold. Do you think in Kufuor's wisdom? Obeyasa. But Omu now they are accomplices because they kept quiet. They were silent over it. That's why they have been accomplices. Penny Lifie, Penny Ntofo, and Kwalatia Guabonti Dinyam Basam. This is just one of his many cases. The oil plea bargain in Mayo. It was a prison one attorney general said the full flash out one. Ebi anukurabet me akosi stay years. Yes. When the oil last minute or free MPP lose election or Cocoa board. When is called what you want? It's in millions of Ghana cedis. And so Edumano was not done.
To me.
When Bonnie went to me, I will come here. No, but when you say, Anna, went to me now. It's a sad day. It is a very happy day for Ghana.
20 years and endorse.
It's money. I'm a penny at the year. We say 20 years is not enough. 20 years. 1 year, went to me, I will come. 20 years is fat. The pump penocre, the pump, and Pukwena. Me hanky white, and I'll be rubbing me so my for hanking in my hat. And I'm saying, Brewa, Messa white. And I'm a confirm white, and this year, Carmen said, Meba, Messa white. I bet Jimmy, my reason, you say, Sana, Ghana, Dinkulu.
Where Judge and Cabema went to me.
My money, 180. We were chilling, none became a common income. 180 pressure. Assassin was saying on the name now chemicals or the room. See, I say, yeah, quack or yet reclamation. When you see a car, oh, yeah, 1 acre reclamation, more than $40,000.
Wow.
Yes, that's how much. Do you know how many acres I was saying? Now on the back of politics. Where more lawyer for way Justin could be away. Where why a lawyer? I am a car. I am Munyame Maninka. Where why a lawyer? I obey the court. Where we are sama. Na containing Kumakura case crowd commander. Where not charge and bail no bet my. Well, apart from charge and bail, then no bet my. I give any Juma. Where is the travesty of justice? Judge Nia Trase. I'm making a case. The arguments. Brabig Zabontina, the arguments now, yeah, you know. Come and counter it with facts. With facts.
I see more MPP.
You are putting propaganda in the space of law. Who told you can use law to propaganda to conquer law? Who told you that? Where were your lawyer? Lawyer Baku said Baku said Bonkum Baku Nifa, a lawyer for me and some MPP lawyers. The catch us MPP lawyer were born. And can obey, speak to facts. Judge Nick can say, I say we all can, you who say, a sim emiratirase, or can say, I say we sim retiase, or can say, from step.
No,
like travesty of justice, they say you fake. What is the travesty about? Judge was speaking to law, facts, and figures. With evidence, hardcore evidence. And I must admit, sir, I am one of the critical voices against Ura Yemi and Slim Sai. In fact, they have made my day.
Today?
Oh, they have made my day, and I'm so proud of them, and I say congratulations to them. They have made... Look, there was no loophole that the judge could make any other contrary opinion than what she has done. Except that the amount of years is too much.
It was up to just 25 years. And one man 20.
It was a command full sentence. 25. 5 years I want to. Because we are 29 months, you know. You say 1 year behind 9 months.
9 months, yeah.
It's out of 12, no, 9 months. Would you how many now better take film? 2 better 3.
Now be 18.
It's in 5 make one and get and cabe 20. Money was so mauna. You see, Aquala was so maunina no. And not Bentua, and Paneto. Now Bentua, ya the Bentua gets away. Was a come money Bentua is here. Then I will be a woman on the flashe. Or you are like a cracker. Now to some of the substantives, sir. You see, nobody should ever think, say, we are lawyer me. Now you assemble down there or my someone. You will feel your mind. Nekoya ulo Juma. Just because upe otefa edi. Enye. Sometimes there was this timer. Michelle Ura Atuguba. Is it? Am I right?
Yeah,
Atuguba. Yeah, Justice.
Judge, yeah.
Atuguba.
Yes.
Now contempt cases be abandoning. Contempt of court cases be abandoning. Lawyer Ayuko MPP lawyer.
Sure.
Even though I argue say MPP lawyer for him answer, I said sorry, I'm sorry. No. He put wisdom and some knowledge together. He made sense and he caught the eye of the bench. And yet the beyond nipa sabi yadiaka kabinsem anaya ni hane kwa prenkins mefie. A prenkins ma de bi ono no sabi oda kwa da nya han.
Ni so sesene.
Na wo kwa ha wani kwa prenkins mefie a opeso chere say prenkins ma unim bia wo keka. Sa delay tactics are no more ye and you be delay case no you be call Supreme Court be ba untumi na afre wa ba no necessary from no dia kan tete maso wo bia wa ye bone sebio wakobu pa amedu akwa yimfie ye be di wasem a wo sa dia topa jenjen na Asia ohene just say one show remorse. Sani pay a yedina se mo court you know or per se or side politics e ba be fra ne ho ne e ka se oh or compare chairman na dinti. How does this make sense?
MPP Fogusoka.
And it's not just him. Many of us, you see, one of the reasons why I sometimes and you be an eco parliament I am many ho or wa be mu a we sika ko de ya odina we
yes
say e ko ka de oye wo 1 year Atrewa.
The General Secretary of the...
Oh, yes. Where did he get his money from? Who doesn't know Kodia? Kodia, memory war, and your friend is saying, the late Amakutufo, Ojampa Hotel owner.
Yes.
My pawn show Anopa no friend me when you Ojampa Hotel say could you a tech who's a na or per se or a discussion to a radio show. It was semi-amented. I know him. Where did he get his money from? Can he account for his wealth? There's to so many politicians, and they don't want us to talk about it. They don't want us to talk about it. Both MPP and NDC, some of them cannot account for their wealth. And it's public money that they have privatized. And privatization of public funds is illegal, it's criminal. And it's deprivation of a lot of hospitals that don't have beds. And then you can say common beds. Common beds. So, and if you look at the amount of monies we discuss, they said the announcing 55 million. Some better have it show how much that money can do. And how many things that money can solve.
Sure.
And obi wiase sika we na your man nyina sika sabi me de bia me ye papa hwe apa me obi a betua tax akese but just imagine say ye wo man mu nyansafo bi ti sa kro bia ye fia sante kotoko hin bi uri amam mu so ahemfo akese to gba afeda no mo ahemfo akese omo nyina etuatua to omo nyina ye nwuma etuatua to na eto a ye dia kogu futuo mu no na obi akofiti to ne to na wono to say atoto fifi we no ma wi asika no ma kodi in the name of politics eneya na mo ma be kasa wu mo amobra wa bra wa bo bra krodi ahwe fam then because of a man we wu ni omanfo nyina asika no na yes wono de wa bo bra
it's
not painful, and that is the core of the advocacy of yetia corruption. It's to the core. And this will be your my bonny. Ni yachina swa. Munya some of the politics say brand some so say we a politician and you know we are more human than Ghana Libya or no say be wakoye obi akotugal and say maybe energy akumiya o kan create o kon create ya okumi mi nya no wo free the constituency campaign wo fa no ra akwatia en kwara bia ko baabi yakwachi wo mo so mo ye galamse uni se no mo ko bon koto en o mo waye fi en a police fo akwachi wo mo se mo ye galamse o mo fi galamse site o mo kwachi galamse site o mo se ye ko bon koto o mo kan bani se nyina police ni na ni o ma chi ni o ma nko site na baabi o mo ko bon koto no o so mo waye fi kwa do mo fi galamse site uni enkofo ni menu ko da prison ya una na di case na ti yes omo maame ante agio se wanwan o fi akwatia se he fa ekroni ba ko ho na se ni waja me frɛ ebi ameka se bi kro wo hwe me akufo do time o ya di omo ko gu afiase wintwo ni paten wo mo wintwo ni paten wo mo akufo do na mu na kamepa ya ma ni asem wo ni paten wo bi
ese akufo do nyagala
na mi bu sa se akonta man ni no wa na be defend ye. You see not equally guilty? We are man penny, I have found my name. You have found my name. No, be a Yambrasem. It turns out to be an Yambrasem. When you put 20 years, well, all JJ, one of your secretary said you're too born on me. He said you were can't send a need me. I don't know about yes, I want to be the need. I didn't want any year. Think I was in about 5 near that's when they make for the Conso or 20. Kokwa na kom di na fuadi agro kakra pani bone a o saka tu pieto udi na tia woni guase oyonko bone ese obrapa etumfu bia mu ntie jamu bedi ni ne mu benya sika adi awe gas atesi gas abeg your pardon oh haya fidikesi so nintimi gas ni so fili omo because Stephen we go to mo
eja ohun
our friends
eja wo ohun
sika e wo din bebre
ega cash
this all feel sin but so bra And it's not as if you will make money. You can still make legitimate money.
Own money.
Sure. I know some politicians who farm and some more kesika when you free farm mua. That's why John Mahama. When you say John Mahama, me papa, at the time Ghana you hear a commerce here, you hear more even for Ghana schools. The leading producer of rice. John Mahama, papa.
Wow.
The family.
The president is the owner of the biggest onion farm in Ghana.
Who called John Mahama Fuma?
President John Dramani.
One way, I will say, now president. He makes hard cash.
Wow.
What your position? What you say? You accuse you of buy 1 cedi. He makes money from his farm, and he is very, very content
with that money.
He does not even on your be materialistic. One thing that you must always look out for from a leader of a country will be on your materialistic. Will be on penny home enya. Will be and yes sir. My baby be dimoso, me be amase wealth. Enti o maya gudia kra me koye japade nam jabe wiako. Will be on privatizing public funds. That is in the person and the character of John Mahama. Where you be John Mahama. Don't you know any cool radio so TV so say. Where do you want to me to we ko any yawo.
John Dramani.
E ka ne nkonenka amasa.
Some cry Ebianka won't to me.
No. He is never vindictive.
Wow.
He is the last person to talk about vindictiveness. He is never. Appointees. They won't qualify to be appointees. But they are his appointees. People that didn't like him to be the leader of the party again. They are still appointees today.
Wow.
Yes, he is never vindictive. He believes that it's politics. I didn't unite me in Kobenkrum. Just that, don't bring insults about.
Okay.
And you say real PNE. Don't pay insults. Don't insult. But Chewadjin, me no nyadjin, I deal with you say ya, Chewadjin. Ube question see what the microphone could charge on mama and see Busa to Yasama. While here he will think contrary to what is happening. I don't think punish Bonnie.
But Justin Frimpong. Justin Frimpong, the General Secretary, or can you know Obama and Penny John?
That is why I'm answering him, sir. Instead of thinking politically, you know, and you're praying that code, you know, or when you be, what say? Opening, oh, Bunny, a woman, I said, there be Obiamo. One na waja wudu ho edi ben na oba ba mu muja ho edi na obi adi ni mutumi apart from say wakoya galam say we to gold no we dey better TV so dey na oye ni mfa ne ho wayi o man ne kwan amayen waye gates amayen wakanya nsasem bia man kola fa mu aba edi ben na mutumi ja ne ho obi amoni di ono na waja ne di ho and you be able to do one about them no matter what bonnie. If you say, and you may be a way be a papa a baby, we are bonnie a baby. And here I am, Musasa Dian, na me by material. A deep no Johnny ho.
I was to say, Eka.
And to dear Johnny one, say a deep pie,
okay.
Say a deep one, a deep my and to dear we am, and only Eka. Mama can say, won't to me one, yes, sir, one cause some boy that. The night crazy, what that? Mama can say,
Midasi.
That's a word to me, I can't say, well, see some boy. Now, and sure to me, torn and say, sure to you, quite some boy. 30% a whole show uniform. When I hear now, what about TV so? Just say the microphone about ABC when you know. Sebi, Daria crown the boy, Yama, no way yato. It's your best room. Your best room because of me now, I tend to work Chomotuno, the Cassia, eternity.
Midasi.
Omunai, when you know. Omunai,
Midasi. List one on Akusipoku, Executive Director of my Good Governance Advocacy Group Ghana. Live on Inside Politics, TVS and Power. 97.9 Ebusha ye told me in the studio ma power specialist about hospital sebra ya na wa to ambebu boso yin na wo ma saje ho abodini aje ho dance ye deda nti no matter baby a wo yare na kwa wonya ho no do ko power specialist eba hospital me ho enye last stop na nya de sa yare ye bewura ho na de apie biom hepatitis A B C D and E me ba cho wo mo agye ho abodini a wo ma sa bebre ko na ko sa yare ho fatty liver sciatica prostate broken bones ulcer swollen neck ne fibroid sa yare udi o ma tutumi kana ko power specialist eba hospital no mo sama ukokuma si a omo wo Feyase Lake Bosom Chekwan so opposite Just Bro filling station. Name Muba Bedu and Kraha Mo Kwabenya Pokwasi ACP Road no so takrade omo Anaji Estate adjacent to Anaji MA Primary School. For number me de ba be to grade na from nchiremu aka bi omo de be somo na do yare na ko nya de yare no be fie bi odia 0244544422 0244544422 02003838 TV1 0200 383831 WhatsApp number 0355 797878 0555 79 78 70 8 na fi when you WhatsApp no masa ya ready amount Safari Valley Eco Resort se bra eho ene biaya eho efe eho ne biaya emu ede se when you holiday or vacation or days be off ope baby agye wa home wonko a woni abusua no akonya da wokọ Safari Valley Eco Resort kwan yo mafa so a creative man made lake a wodi boat si so abetimi ne ho kani atena so adwodwo mo ho harmless zoo a mo ewom no mo nka mo nti betimi ne bi grade agro the green nature of Safari Valley Eco Resort alone is very satisfying na ukodu wa benya dan pamu ada enya aduane pedi obeye yie obeye conference obeye wedding party bi akọ Safari Valley Eco Resort almost spacious nice ones omode ma wa udi bedi djumedi na aye very classy kai na hye nso so omo okwape mu miami kromo ukuga kwapem ne aduko mu kwapem patem wa no mubuto omo sesi omo kama for number me de ba betu dwa no nchiremu aka bi omo de besomo no akọ akọje wa home na bibia aye kama 0596 914394 0596 914394 na visit your website no www.safarivalleyresort.com na nkomo aka bia woni omundi Victory Garlic Mixture dupe ebetimi aboa wapomudin yie pa wono mo eye omoja ne wuntiri mo adwuma ewurawura mti uyo obi a wo yade kakra na wokoma bukinkim na wabere onan ne wonsa nyina timi etitiri ana dizziness na etete wabrabo ma wonsanka Victory Garlic Mixture bi ebetimi aboa na ye wunipadua ne wuntiri mu ne umoja mu adwuma sede moja ebe fresa ne nyina no ahyehye ne nyina ma na yare bia abetena so ma wonsa ne onan etitiri wo yade kakra na wabere no abusua ne nyina timi the free or shedding so say an enterprise for the Victory Garlic Mixture abedwama so call kan shikin so worker ubenya bebre to na mo ye pharmacy shop and na say wo herbal shop now pe Victory Garlic Mixture bia free an enterprise for number me dey to je ombejo so no mama obi etu aton 0201 293 280 0201 293-280 and now 0242-545-633 0242-545-633 now fe on set me aka Victory Garlic Mixture ne bi Okada 247 the aba abusia emu aye de obe order food wankasa ope Okada atena so e de aye right ni aba be fa de akoba bi na ma movement nyina aye straight and smooth one more kan Okada 247 no ye training omu yie pa one so omo fani pa so omo deliver goods so omo di goods uba be pa cha pepe sa no mbe no na one more at the 500 Ghana cedis e de ato one more de che every blessed day yes 500 Ghana cedis so you su Okada 247 now you could be the lucky winner na every blessed day 500 Ghana cedis Okada 247 de mano wonsa etimi akabe nti order food ana send the parcel bi a op book a ride no Okada 247 emra me foul na fe be the lucky winner Okada 247 one more 500 Ghana cedis every blessed day omo de channel call app store and say play store say na download the app no Okada 247 make sure say book ride nearby ride and shen helmet won so de wo ho a wo de be shoti ansa na watena so na bibi biara etimi aye kama na hwe se ride no odu traffic light na so ready obegina na bibia enye kama Okada 247 I say let's go safety proudly Ghanaian I say TV XYZ and Power 97.9 FM inside Politics Jumedi Sunni and yani listo on Anakusi Poku executive director Edema Good Governance Advocacy Group Ghana na esi nkonya nsema aka nyina no yade esomwo manager Kwame Mame ewo shiashi is Legon ye friend Mama Rosemore Akonobia me know they can say wo hwe dwumadi ya na ni age yie pa nti Mama Rosemond akonobia manager Kwame me former boss mommy Yankopon Shaw na onka ho manager abribia o ka ho asem kire me yie pa yan mame wish happy birthday we asana yen koma e ho ne yaba a wonderful happy birthday to Honorable Mubarak Watara one of your head of communications Metro Mass Transit one another so pay ban communication pa se wutie no na obiebie Metro Mass ho nsemu a ene kwan a aban no efa so na wayan hyehyɛ se beboa na Metro Mass asen agina ne nan so biewa enya de keto akra nti yes in the birthday no
20th
and 20th
and 2026
yeah
and obi come 20 years and ono so
hey what you want man you say na 20th and I want to me come 20 years hey wow
Edu Watara birthday anniversary.
So a wonderful birthday to you, Honorable Mubarak Watara, head of corporate communications, Metro Mass Transit. Yankopon onka hona onya okase wo dwumadia wodi mo. Nana
on to me no.
Yes.
Me samri nie. Enema 4 na me hwe.
Okay.
Yedi kan manuti nti making kan kakra. Say a major victory to or against political impunity.
Okay.
Judgment never.
Yes. But can be say yenhwe Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia want to me case no this week the yedi yina.
Okay.
Nti yemra Alhaji Baumia nsem so kakra bi na fa nsem ni to jama me. Parliament a pass the tribunal bill 2026 Saturday the ebe come Ampani John Dramani ma ho na fe wode ne nsa hyase na ababe ye emra e wokroma Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia say hwe on Ampani hwe ana one sign sa bill no then na wo ka e dey afa.
You see, let's get serious in this country because Nyoma Baumia Kanya the video me share me rehoe papa.
I don't know.
You see, say what can nipa don bi ho amoma kwati amayuku na amayuku no ne standards bafom to a point where idea very easy to reason around, you know, where you can conclude with logic, you know. Akwaya say, yeah, to be a gumukeke.
So okay, so waka manyuku waka now can be.
Oh yeah. I mean, Sabi, enyadia, it's something that I was part of.
Do you know when people must say about me akraba?
Oh, na ba me there's one of the you be kind never. That's all no cry money waiver. He didn't even qualify to be a running mate.
Seriously?
Oh yes, I mean you can ask Nana Ohinito. He signed for his friend is saying waiver. No, you can ask everyone about me. I mean, so if you have come that far with a political party, Nanka, hitherto know you would realize say ansana or candy for you party na nimbe bi na no be kasa no na or kasa to facts, figures, reasoning. Things that are logical. What you say? And yes, sir, Abusremuka, and yes, sir, me flag bearer ntino, you saw camera, me di me choose a few years, you saw camera, na ma starting up, me pour out diarrhea, Debbie.
That is hard.
No. Yeah, say, baby, a political discourse, you are not adding, but always subtracting. Yeah. What is he saying? First of all, let's take it step by step, and I will conclude in a few minutes because if you haven't made sense, it's not difficult to digest it easily. You know, or say the risk of politicization of the judiciary. Is that not what he said?
Yes.
Who politicized the judiciary more than Akufo-Addo?
And Akufo-Addo politicized the judiciary, no? In what way?
He even became president when we didn't know how many votes he got. By any year, as CJ. To the extent that you were even using, your friend is saying, political actors to try cases against Opuni and your friend is saying, Sedu Agongo. Obi our your former, your friend is saying, parliamentary candidate for MPP, Honoluga, a retired justice. So who politicized, the judiciary more than a party that you were a vice president for?
So are you saying he doesn't have
So
that moral?
He has no moral right to discuss these things because it is to the core. Say, begu on one thing. I say, why research? Because your researcher, just even a Google search will give him away. A Google search, you don't have to do much. A Google search will just go on Google and ask which political party has politicized the judiciary in this country, in this republic. And it is to the affirmative. MPP. There's a delusion say there will be conform by magistrates or law school. Bawumia, how? I mean, we have so many magistrates, almost a CIA, or more a quarter, or more lawyers. I have gone before one very recently. I have gone before one on your lawyer, on him law, or your law that, or your sophocake, or your magistrate. Some who advised him. Then he mentions that procedural shortcuts and lack of dialogue. Ignoring the constitutional offense. All these things, sometimes, we are a serious country. We need serious brains.
That's it.
And then what thinkers? And no more. I say, what me I wanna be. Me person ye flag bearer. Me person ye president. And me first year mame. I say, kwala ye diago. We are a serious country. If you don't have anything to say, shut up. Shut up. Shut your mouth.
Listo Nana Kusi Poku, Executive Director. Edema Good Governance Advocacy Group Ghana. Ani Adisi and a time no create in Chubia, Samiko Ashisha Medio to check up. Maybe, Midi and Obrempong, Yami Admochna, Yabese Shama crowd.